I blame Husam for being late. How about you hold this time out, mate? Try blame me again now. You have 4 minutes and 55 seconds of not being able to comment in this chat because you opened your mouth. I timed you out just to prove I was here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Matisse, I will time you out as well. You get me? I will actually do it, and you know it. Make sure guys are liking the video. Make sure guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. We are here, Habibis. Do it? Okay, no problem. Hold. We are here, Habibis, to talk about, you get me, all things football. We're going to talk about Chelsea, of course. But we're going to start off. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions about my club. Because in the background, he was crying to me about the Guard of Honor. I don't want Chelsea to give Guard of Honor. Only one team has to give Guard. People are being so dramatic. People being actually, I do have nicotine, Sergey. So hold that because it's 1 a.m. So I've broken my fast 6 hours ago. Guys, wallahi, Matisse was late. I was here on time and he was just wrapping up a meeting. You need to understand, when you work with a celebrity, this happens. Like, the guy has meetings and agents, shit like this. You know how many people I had to contact to get through to him? Anyway, joining me on the channel is the icon of the Chelsea YouTube familia. I love you, Lewis. But you get me, pound for pound, the best Chelsea content creator out there. Sorry, Lewis, I love you. Wallahi, I love you, Lewis. But I'm like, I have to be honest in it. The man, the myth, the legend, the Big Six, Battle of the North, iconic moments between us both, Cooking City for the 115. I apologize to Hugh again last week. Probably he doesn't accept my apology, but hey, it is what it is. He had grouping up against Arsenal when they were about to win the league, and then I did the heel turn. I started backing Arsenal. So many iconic memories and moments. And I do have to say, look, people, before I even introduce the guy, you have to give the people flowers before he retires because of Todd Boehly and Blue Co. You get me, giving him a headache forever before he retires from this platform. You have to give the people credit. Now, this guy is a mentor. And before I make any of the big decisions, I always come to him. Before I went from This Is Football to Don Husam, the person that I messaged before anyone else, and the person that I asked before anyone else, is Matisse. And he's always available to give me advice. And he's helped me so much throughout my YouTube journey. And I think it's showing in some of the decisions that I make. He's someone that I definitely take inspiration from. His growth has been absolutely unbelievable, mashallah. When I left his channel, the guy had about, like, I think he was like on 25 to 35k subscribers. And mashallah, now he's overtaken the 100k mark. And he's been absolutely cooking on this platform, so he deserves his flowers. The man, the myth, the legend, man like Matisse is in the building. Hi, Matisse.
I love you, because you timed me out and I was coming in, and then he just butters me up like that with all those wonderful compliments. So he knows what he's doing, guys. He knows what he's doing. He's a clever boy. He's a clever guy. But yeah, listen, brother, I'm very proud of you. You're about to hit 50k. I've watched a lot of your content, even more recently, because I've seen your reaction to the tier list and the way you carry yourself, the lack of bias. Like, I'm like, you really have like grown as a content creator from when I saw you on Spaces to now running this community, running it, driving it. Yeah. Pedal right down, full steam ahead, not playing games, not taking anything for granted, just going for it. And kicking on. I mean, look at the set. You know what I mean? I was watching your stream when you was explaining to people what the first set looked like. And you were showing like your old video. I was watching that piece of content. And now we have Don Husam. And also we have Don Husam, not This Is Football. And now it's personal branding and it's the name and it's about you, because that's what it's about. It is about you. When we saw you on that space, cussing everybody, moving mad, it was about Husam. It wasn't even about the football. I can't even remember what you was cussing about now. I just remember you cussing and it was hilarious. So
I'll tell you where you first met me. This is a funny story, chat. Troops first met me on a space and Matisse first met me on a space. Troops met me on the Ice Spice and Bambi on Ice space, infamously. You get me, when I was cussing out Gomez and Matip from the season we have all forgotten 3 years ago. And Matisse met me on a 3 a.m. relationship space.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes. We were doing late spaces, and I think he might have just like not been able to sleep or something. And I was just cussing people for just putting like unrealistic expectations on relationships, shit like that. You get me?
Nothing football.
Yes, nothing football related. And he started laughing and he followed me and I followed him like shit. Matisse just followed me. And then I started doing Twitch streams with him. That was the time we used to do a weekly show on his Twitch channel. I used to do a weekly football show, and then Battle of the North, and the rest is history. You get me?
Yeah.
We're here now. We're here. Time
Do you know
flies.
what? People, listen, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of like avenues to go into with this, and I've gone on, Roundup DR, and I've done watch-alongs and Mob with Big Six. Brother is in Jordan, and when he says that, it's like, it's not to say, oh, it's an excuse. It's the reality. He doesn't get to go outside the stadium and give you that perspective. He doesn't get to go in person in studios and do Sky Sports and get all these extra helping hands to get his name out there. Brother is where he is, and he's handling business. And that, I don't like blowing smoke up his ass, but to see him nearly get 50K, it's a proud moment, because the same thing Rant says with me, right? He'll say, he didn't have a channel. I didn't. I was on Twitter. So I know he gets, I know he takes a lot of pride in the way I've kicked on, and it's the same with you. Just to know that someone has not even started this yet, and you saw them right before they even started it, and then they just went and smashed it. It's good, man. It's good to see. But that's enough pleasantries now. It's time to go to war, because I'm still not able to type in the chat. Man's blocked me.
And you're still getting dissed. Big up to Husam and Steve Urkel. What was it? First of all, big up to Aaron, the general. W's in the chat for Aaron. Was this what Expressions first called you this, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got about 10 nicknames for me though. So he calls me anything. He calls me a whole heap of
Thank
names.
God his nickname for me didn't stick.
What was it?
He called me Jinder Mahal.
What?
The Indian wrestler.
Do you know what? That might be one of the few that he has that's not gonna really stick. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's not gonna stick.
He's had some mad ones, but I've never heard that one, so that one hasn't stuck. You're good.
The Arab Jinder Mahal, blood. He was talking about me when I shaved my head for Bellingham. You get me?
Ah, fair. Well, then maybe that's the reason, isn't it? You said at the time your hair was always gonna grow back at an alarming rate, so you knew that.
I cut my hair last week, like 4 days ago.
Bro said I got a level 1 yesterday. Now look,
swear, bro. Arabs, we just grow hair like this, bro. What can I do? Like
crazy.
You see me with hair, just come back to my channel next week. You'll see. Like
It'll
thank
be a
God
madness.
that trim in Jordan is like 3 pounds, bro. Or I would just be.
Oh yeah, it's 30 pounds over here. It's 30 pounds over here, bro.
It's 3 pounds to get a haircut and a beard cut.
Wow. You add a 0 and that's what I get the same thing. That's ridiculous. Yes. That is blasphemy.
Big up, Aaron. Big up, Ollie Magic says, big up, Husam. Keep grinding, brother. Appreciate you, Ollie Magic. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for the super chat. God's will, we just said it won't stick. We just said, we literally, like 30 seconds ago said it won't stick. And you decided to run this? You fraud. You fraud. I've realized I have a lot of haters in the Chelsea community. That he starts agendaing. Listen, I will run no Chelsea agendas unless you finish outside the top 5. Then I promise you the agendas will agenda. You best believe that. Big up to Sunrise says, Eid Mubarak. Thank you so much, my brother. But Jordan, Eid is not tomorrow. It's after tomorrow. So I'm fasting tomorrow as well. You get me? So, yes, I start my last fast in like 5 hours. So big up to you, Sunra. Listen, big up Sergey, Sunra, Oli Magic, Godswell, and Aaron. And let's just get this party started. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. You're getting Husam X Matisse in the international break. You get me? There is nothing like it. There is nothing better, So let's like the video. Let's subscribe. And I did tell Matisse, can you guys stop this? Like, you're just you're completely
you did this to yourself, because you've basically asked to be nicknamed that now. Guys,
yeah,
it didn't stick, and you make it
him.
stick. Well, it doesn't matter to the people. People don't care. People just want to have fun.
Maybe I have big biceps, but that doesn't mean I'm
Lord. Don't follow this guy on Snapchat, guys. He just posts gym photos of him flexing in the mirror.
Any woman in the chat, follow me. Anyway, let's talk. I did tell Matisse in the background before we get into Chelsea and Blueco and all that stuff, because he's spoken about it probably 100 gazillion million times. I do want to talk about more Liverpool related stuff. I saw you in my comment section. I saw you say it on DR Sports as well. Before we even get into the Salah thing, I want to ask you about Trent. You're one of the people that has been publicly essentially saying what I'm saying with the Trent situation. So just explain to the people, to the audience watching, your opinion on the Trent situation.
Yeah, I just think with Trent and Liverpool, it's not like he's the only one running out of contract. People say that he's planned this and it's been something that he's sat in his basement or his dungeon with his brother and they've conjured it up around a fire and they've put their devil horns on and laughed evilly into the distance to miraculously try and fuck over Liverpool. Okay, so then why have Virgil and Salah not got new contracts then? Look, for me, it's never on the player to get the club money. That is a bonus if they manage to make that happen. But the player has got to focus on his own career first and foremost, because Liverpool, as much as they will love you, and this is for every club, they will drop you just as quickly the next day if you are not performing, if you are making errors, if you are injured for too long. People want you out of their club like there's no tomorrow. You go and sign a new contract on a big 300k bumper contract that Liverpool have now offered maybe multiple times, and you're not delivering. Oh, the same fans that sing your name, best believe they're going to abuse the shit out of you. So loyalty in football is very fickle. And I think players are humans, and I think people, they dehumanize them and they think, oh, you know, if it was me and I had a 30 million signing on bonus from Real Madrid coming into my letterbox with the opportunity to remotivate myself, maybe to create a legacy that maybe isn't Liverpool led, but is global, and set new targets and try and achieve new heights, to win new trophies, to play with my best friend Bellingham, whatever it is that he wants to do. Maybe his style of play also, maybe from a technical footballing standpoint, this is also a good thing for him, because we know Spain, in terms of the football that's played out there, is very more, you know, in the technical side, and is more physical in England. He gets a lot of criticism from the media in England. There could be so many things that play a part as to why he'd want to move to Real Madrid. First of all, it's just Real Madrid. You know, you have to know your place in the football food chain. They are above Liverpool, the same way Fulham and Southampton for Harvey Elliott and Van Dijk were below Liverpool. I look at this as an FSG thing. I think for me, they haven't ran the club in the tip-top way people like to say. I think they're a bit fortunate this season that Slot has been brilliant, that the legends of the club have been brilliant. That is not an FSG masterclass league title win. That is a Slot. That is the legends of Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, Trent. That is their masterclass. There are still positions in that team that everybody can see need to fill. You can see that in the final against Newcastle. You can see that in the PSG fixture there as well. I think Liverpool fully deserve this league. I wanted them to win it over Arsenal. I'm not here to take credit away from it. Absolutely not. But I'm just here to say that FSG as an entity don't deserve to have their asses licked at all. And I don't think if you didn't have the season you were having on the football pitch, I think what is happening off the pitch would get a little bit more heat. And rightly so. Right now, you should focus on winning. Right now, you should focus on enjoying it, because as a football fan, you're doing something that is very historic. You're about to go level on 20 titles with United. You're about to win in your first season with Slot. You're about to get that title win that you really wanted in the face of the fans for the parade that you couldn't have in COVID time. So it's a very important title. It's not something that you should just be, brushing under the carpet. But I think to put the finger at a 26-year-old who's done more than enough since he's been coming through the academy, he's overachieved, he's delivered, he's performed, he's been the best right back in the country. He's taken.
So you are in agreement for me that this is like a Liverpool lack of ambition move, even from the outside looking in.
Trent might have wanted to go to Real. He might have just changed his mind, regardless of ambition, and he might have just wanted to go to Real Madrid because that's his personal ambition, and he wants to go there. And Real Madrid are more ambitious than Liverpool because they can flex their muscles differently to Liverpool. Liverpool operate with a structure. Real Madrid don't care; they just buy Galacticos. So, by definition, as a player, do you want to play with Mbappe or do you want to play with Diaz? Do you want to play with Jota or do you want to play with Vinny? It's not difficult to make a decision. I don't know if it's down to Liverpool's ambition, because I just think Trent, from hearing he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, from hearing he wants to be he sounds like he wants to be a global sensation superstar. I think he just decided he wants to go to Real Madrid regardless. But what I'm saying is when you've got 3 key players running out of contract in the same season that are part of your spine, that is unheard of. That is the same shit that the Cronkies used to get cussed for under Arsene Wenger. That is the same shit that we was cussing when Rudiger and Christensen got released on a free to Barcelona and Real Madrid for under Roman and Marino, and so on and so forth. That is not good. That is poor business. You could have set a deadline for Trent and said, listen, here's your bumper contract. There's 2 years left. You sign this or you leave. And if you want to put that out in the reports and make that public that offer's there, then you can. I know it's not the nicest way to treat a player, but you've also got to think as a business and foresee and kind of gauge the situation and be like, okay, we can't afford to let this guy go for free. We're going to take control of the situation. He's our employee. He's not going to dictate to us what we do. And that's just it. But they run the risk. And that's that. It is what it is in that regard. I think Liverpool fans, it's obviously an emotional time now, but I think at the end of the season, most people will be like, you know what? We'll move. Who cares? We move with Trent.
I hear you. I'm in complete agreement, to be honest with you. I just think it's a lack of ambition move, like from our own club, to be honest with you. And I've been trying to explain this to the people over this last 3 days. I was like, listen, have Liverpool shown us any past evidence to show that they're going to do their absolute best to retain next season? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. It would not shock anyone in the universe if City win the league next season, or if Arsenal win the league, or whoever, because we're just not that type of club, we might literally just sign Kirk as in a centre back and then call it a day and go let's run it back, and then everyone's going to do the whole acting like it's okay and stuff like that. Yo, big up to Fans on TV. Big up. This one of the upcoming channels. I'm a big fan of the work you do. Keep going, you guys. Appreciate you hopping in the chat as well. Big up to you guys. Big up. So, moving on from Trent.
Oh God, is this what I told you already? Is a foolishness. Is this what you're
doing?
You
say it's a foolishness,
okay,
but when you okay. Here's the thing. I don't know if you saw Said's video on my channel, but I absolutely ruined him.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I went to check out some of it, and I saw the comments, and it wasn't looking good for my brother.
Yes, I absolutely.
My brother shot my other brother in the chest.
But that when it comes to the Scholes debate, I'm undefeated. We have acknowledged this. I completely am open to having a Gerrard Lampard debate. I think it's a debate. Don't bring me that guy. Don't bring it. And I absolutely destroyed Said. Listen, you want to know how illogical Said was in that debate? He said that Scholes has more ability than Gerrard. That's the most shameless thing I've ever heard in my life, I'll be honest with you. And you want to know what's funny? There were non-Liverpool fans in the chat going 1-0 Husam. 1-0 Husam. You get just absolutely destroyed. And I swear, bro, I just absolutely cooked him that day. So I want to talk to you about the other debate.
Salah, just to say, he's getting a trim now. You know that? He's getting you cooked him to a point where he's getting a trim, it seems. He's getting a trim. I've never seen him get a trim on a stream before, but he's going bald because of you. You've sent our brother bald.
Hey, listen, I've done that before.
What's going on?
And then he hijacked my star boy. Unfortunately, I hate you, Jude. I hate you forever. And Zubimendi. I will forgive you if we move to Madrid, though, not Arsenal. Big up to all of you guys locked in. 550 people in the building. Make sure guys are liking the video. Make sure guys are subscribing to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone in the building, please hit the like button, subscribe. Salah, Hazard, Matisse. I feel like for the first time ever, and I'll tell you this, and I'm not representing the whole Chelsea fan base, but for the first time ever, I have seen some form of acceptance, even from 25 to 30% of the Chelsea fans, at least I see or interact with, that, okay, guys, we just have to put it in the bag now. Salah is better. Where are you with all this debate regarding Hazard and Mo? And don't give me the sit on the fence ass answer. Oh, they're both the best wingers and all that. Don't do this politically.
I think the debate's a bit boring. I'll be honest. I think the debate's a bit boring because it's repetitive. I think. You can do that with the profiler. I've seen it already. He's not going to do anything here with this. We've seen this in the back end.
Can I get water in peace? Can I just go
get water? My back foot, brother. Why'd you turn the camera off to get water? Why do you need to turn the camera off to get water? I don't understand.
Because it's in the other room.
So just leave the chair empty, no?
Okay, here, happy now. Let's
Oh
go.
my god. In my opinion, Salah as a footballer cannot be compared to Hazard as a footballer. In my opinion, I think Hazard is a better footballer. I don't think that debate is ever gonna I don't think that's a debate. If you watch the two players and you watch what Hazard was able to do on the football and what Salah's able to do on the football, I don't think you can compare the two. You can talk about who's had the better career, no problem. You can go. That's Salah. You know, Salah's done it in the Champions League more often. Salah's gonna have a longer and better legacy, maybe in the Premier League in terms of statistics. Salah, you know, you can do that. I don't really care about that as much personally. I just don't want people to try and tell me that he's a better footballer than Hazard. As long as we're cool and we're clear on that, and the amount of goals and assists is not going to change that, because I would never say the goals and assists is going to make you know, Salah or Mane better than Ronaldinho or Zidane. I would never entertain or change my opinion on who's better at football just based upon statistics. So for me, Salah is gonna keep clearing Hazard of statistics. He's gonna keep setting records. He's probably gonna go and eliminate Henry's record for assists, right? And he's going for everyone's records. That deserves all of its praise and applause. I'm just trying to say, from a footballing perspective, as a footballer, with the ability to drop into your own half, pick up the ball on the center circle and run a game. That's something that Hazard is capable and does. He is capable of twisting and turning people in the center of the pitch. He's capable of going past 4, 5, 6 in the center of the pitch. He's capable of running games regardless of whether you remember him getting a goal or an assist in that game. You go look at the Belgium performance for the World Cup in 2018, I believe. Just from football, that is what he does, and Salah just doesn't.
Do you think the way that you're describing Hazard is way too nostalgic for us?
No, it's not, because I watched it. So Hazard was the best Premier League player when he was in the Premier League. There's nothing nostalgic about it. We don't need to be nostalgic over the player that was the best.
Can I give you a genuine example? I'm not even trying to be disingenuous. You saw how much disrespect, let's say, Mo got after the PSG game. Push the Newcastle thing to the side.
I wasn't part of that. I'm
not saying you specifically. I'm saying generally in the football world. 10 years before that, Chelsea got eliminated at home to 10-man PSG. Hazard was on the pitch.
Yeah, that's why I don't subscribe to that, because I've seen big names and big players have honkers, bro. People, I'm not here to say Hazard's never had a honker. He's had many stinkers. He had a whole season. He came back overweight. He had too many beef patties or whatever, and he came back overweight and he honked up the place. He honked it. So we're not even talking about a game. We're talking about a season. If I was on social media in that season, I'm sure people would have been absolutely killing Hazard, and rightly so, because the performance wasn't up to it. But anytime any team has been eliminated from a competition, probably most likely your best player hasn't played very well, potentially.
Yes, I agree with that.
That applies to the great.
That's happened throughout history to all clubs.
Exactly. That applies to the great Barca team. That applies to Real Madrid. That applies to Man City, to Liverpool. If your team has not won the Champions League every single year, so when you went out, who did you go out to, and how did your best player play? More time, we're going to find performances where they stank out the place. I was less looking at Salah in those PSG. Salah had a bad couple of games, fine, but how much percentage of he is that attack? We're looking at 80-90% of that attack. He is that heavy, you know, in terms of that. So I'm more looking at where was Jota, where was Diaz, where was Nunes? Why didn't you step up to the plate when he couldn't? Because for most of the season, 80-90% of the season, that's all he's done. He stepped up to the plate. He's breaking records. He's carrying. You know, that Liverpool attack currently is not the best Liverpool attack. It's Mane, Firmino, and Salah. If Mane and Firmino are on that pitch against PSG, you don't go out. You simply don't go out, because if Salah's not playing well, then Mane, and there is something to be said for if you've got balance on both flanks in terms of threat, and that's something we didn't have with Hazard. We had Willian on the right, who really was frustrating. If you've got a Ronaldo and a Bale, or a Neymar and a Messi, guess what happens? The team that's defending against you, they can't be lopsided in the way they defend, or they can't be focused on one man. They have to spread the load, and then there's more space and there's more gaps. So recruitment and failing to partner up, you know, top players that have been Premier League, they're going to go down as a Premier League icon, failing to line him up and really not failing because they had Mane previously, but failing to line him up right now with, you know, someone that is of that level
Two
on the
good
other
forwards,
flank,
essentially.
yeah, then that's what's going to happen. So, you know,
So
for
if
me,
I were to ask you to rank Hazard, Ronaldo, and Salah, what's their ranking in the Premier League for you? And
Ronaldo has
don't do the whole based on what. Just give me an answer.
as footballers, Ronaldo's top.
Look at you. See?
No, hold on. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer your question. As footballers, Ronaldo's top, Hazard's second, and Salah's third. As footballers, I have to always say as footballers because they're playing football. So I can't not say as footballers. I'm judging you as a footballer playing football. I got to say as footballers. But if we're talking about legacy in the Premier League, then
I'm not asking legacy or
yeah. But so what are you asking? You got
because if I ask you, I'm asking you a blanket question. Like I'm saying, rank 1, 2, 3 in the Premier League: Ronaldo, Hazard, Salah. Blanket question.
So this is the problem with your question.
With football parameters in general.
Yeah, but you need parameters. When Saeed did a tier list, what was your biggest issue with it? There was no parameters. So if you don't set a parameter, if you don't say, oh, this tier list has got to be based on legacy, or it's got to be based on entertainment, or it's got to be based on analysis, depending on what it is, you're ranking people differently. If you're putting it on entertainment, you're putting Expressions top. If you're putting it on analysis, you're probably putting James Alcott top. So it depends on what the parameters are. For me, if you don't put parameters on it, you're just looking for a fight. I'm not personally interested in a fight in terms of, oh, he said this is crazy. I want to know what's it based on so I can tell you where it goes. If it's not based on anything, then what's the point of the question?
Big up Turkish in the chat as well. Turkish, you're the only person with 100+ K who doesn't even have a tick next to his name, so I had to go check. But
yeah, Turkish.
Okay, let me tell you why
He's moving unofficial.
Yes, he's unofficial Turkish, but here we gave him the wrench. You get me? Let me just tell you that here's the problem that I have with this question. Hazard Nizaribra. Here's the problem with my problem with the answer to the question. If I asked Matisse 10 years ago, Hazard or Sanchez, he would immediately said Hazard. I do feel like now we're making football debate.
So I'll tell you why. Because Sanchez doesn't have a better palette of work than Hazard in the Premier League. He hasn't won more than Hazard in the Premier League. He wasn't here way longer or way shorter than Hazard in the Premier League. He's not a better player than Hazard. So there's no need for me to get into it because it's just clear. It's just obvious.
But here's the problem I have with it. I feel like now as football fans and as football content creators, every time we open up a can of worms or want to have a conversation, we must always
explain ourselves.
Like different types of answers. Like, listen, man, when you ask me who's the best Premier League midfielder of all time, I'll tell you Steven Gerrard directly. I don't need you to go like based on ability, based on legacy, none of that stuff.
But you didn't ask me who the best right winger of all time is. You asked me between those three.
No, I'm saying I think.
So if you're asking me who the best is, Ronaldo is the best.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Because he's the best. Okay,
three.
So but I need to know what you're asking. If you're asking me who the best
the question
winger,
is just rank them 1 to 3, Matisse.
Okay, I'll rank them. So Ronaldo is top, Hazard is second, and Salah's third. And if I'm ranking them,
so you rate Hazard higher than Salah, and that's the point.
Yeah, that's no problem. Okay, no problem. That's what I need to ask you.
We're here to destroy. This is what we do, mate.
I had to ask.
We're here to destroy. Here's the thing with the Salah Hazard debate. First of all, let's go to the ability side of things. I do feel like Salah's ability is very underrated. And people have consistently disrespected Salah's ability. People say he doesn't have a first touch. People say he's not an all-rounder. Load of shit. Here's what Salah walked into. He walked into the Liverpool team in 17-18 with Firmino's the false nine. He broke the Premier League record without taking penalties in goals. He then played gegenpressing, heavy metal football under Jurgen Klopp first. And then he played possession football under Jurgen Klopp. And then when Darwin Núñez walked into this club, he became a touchline winger, of which his primary role became creating for Darwin Núñez. I can remind you all of a game when you were all sat there, Liverpool against Crystal Palace at Anfield. Darwin Núñez missed 4 sitters, all created by Mohamed Salah. And then Arne Slot walks in, new manager, new system, new style, and he's still leading the league in goals, in assists, in big chances created if people don't like GA. When I talk about consistency over an 8-year period, it's absolutely insane that someone's first season in the Premier League and his 32-year-old season are his 2 best seasons.
Yeah, he's the most consistent. He's more
The
consistent.
level of consistency can't just be bypassed and we move on to the next topic, because this consistency is one of the main debates for Salah. So I think his ability improved because he doesn't have pace and power like before. If you notice, it's not like he's getting the ball and running like.
Let me ask you something. Who is more consistent, Salah or Ronaldinho? Answer the question. Don't give me context.
I'll answer the question. Salah never hit Ronaldinho heights, ever.
No, you're not. What you're doing now is you're starting to talking about context.
No, but I wasn't finished. I'm still going.
Actually, I'm going to ask you a better question. Rank Salah and Ronaldinho.
Okay, I'll answer the question I asked you first. I put Ronaldo first.
Ronaldinho.
No, wait. The same question I asked you. I put Ronaldo first, Salah second, Hazard third. Because the heights, and this is important in a footballing debate, in my opinion, as long as it's not for one season, obviously, let's not be disingenuous here. The heights that Cristiano Ronaldo hit, Salah didn't hit, even in the Premier League. The heights, I'm saying. Like the fact of being best player in the world.
This is where we disagree. I think Hazard's heights are higher than Salah's heights. And I'll tell you why. Because like I said, it's not about goals and assists for me when I'm talking about what height is a footballer hitting. Ronaldinho's heights were not based upon GNA. They were based upon what he was doing on a football pitch in terms of your eyes are bulging out of your headpiece. I have never had my eyes bulging out of my headpiece when I'm watching Salah. Salah's a great player. I like watching him when he's at his best, but my eyes are not out of my head. My jaw is not on my floor.
Yeah, but the problem is you're equaling Ronaldinho to Hazard in this debate.
I'm not.
You are.
What I'm telling you is that Hazard is closer to Ronaldinho than Salah is. So that is why I'm ranking Hazard higher than Salah. Yes. So you're saying Salah? No. I don't give a fuck.
Did you just say Hazard is closer to Ronaldinho?
Then Salah. Yes, then Salah. Listen, Hazard is closer to Ronaldinho than Salah. How can you disagree with me? He's there gasping and he's like, oh my God. Oh, he's not listening. Hazard is closer to Ronaldinho than Salah. How can you disagree with that if you watch football? Who's picking up the ball in the center circle? Who's going past players? Who's touch? Like, how are you trying to say Salah? Your point was, oh, he's played touchline winger and he's played under Klopp, and brother, my player has played under Rafa Benitez. He's played under Maurizio Sarri. He's played under Antonio Conte. He's played under Jose Mourinho. He's played in defensive systems when he's played with Willian. He's created chances that have been missed by a fucking washed Higuain and Eto'o. He's created chances that have been missed by a washed Morata. So when we're talking about positional versatility, hold on a second. When he's at the right wing for Anfield and he's going past 4 or 5 your players, when we're talking about positional versatility, do not be telling me Salah.
He scored a goal in the Carabao Cup against Alberto Moreno and Simon Mignolet.
Do not be bringing positional versatility to me when we're talking about Hazard versus Salah. That was your first mistake. I'm telling you that right now. If you watch Hazard, he's not playing on the left wing. He's playing anywhere on the pitch because he's going where the ball's going. He's attracted to the ball. The ball is attracted to him. The team play through him. Facts. That's not up for debate. So let's park that. What I said is facts. It's not something to drop your jaw. Salah is an effective right winger who gets in behind and he can do the outside the left boot pass. He can cross. I'm not here to tell you he's just a kick and run merchant. Absolutely not. But when we're talking about Hazard, bro, this is why I don't talk about GNA. I just don't. And like I said, yes, Salah is more consistent. He was more serious. He kept himself in shape. I have all the respect for that. If we talk about Salah, his mentality is closer to Cristiano Ronaldo than Hazard. Hazard's mentality is closer to Adel Tarabt. Hazard's mentality is, I'm going to play PlayStation.
Why doesn't that have any weight in the argument for you? So your weight is just entertainment.
No. Listen, first of all, I think you do come to football to be entertained.
First of all, I don't think Hazard or Salah can lace Ronaldinho's boots.
No, they can't. I didn't say they could. I didn't say they could.
But none of them are close to Ronaldinho.
I didn't say Hazard could. I didn't say Hazard was Ronaldinho.
Like Ronaldinho's heights is like Zidane heights.
Yeah.
To the heights he reached. It's like R9 heights. It's like Messi, like that tier just below Messi and Cristiano? The tier just below them, like just one step below is R9. Ronaldinho, Zidane, modern era. I think the only players that touch Ronaldinho and like etc. Iniesta, in my opinion, I think his height is phenomenal.
So at points, Hazard and Neymar at points were the only players that were trying to be third to Ronaldo and Messi, right? That's my opinion. I think those two players, the way that they played when they were at their very best, they're the only two players that were sitting behind Ronaldo and Messi as attackers. I don't think Salah has got to those heights that I saw from Neymar and that I've seen from Hazard at the World Cup.
I don't know if he got to Neymar heights, but he's better than Hazard heights.
That's your opinion. This is where
even this season, I think this season from Salah is better than any season we've seen from Hazard. And you're talking about Diego Costa and Samuel Eto'o. I would take Samuel Eto'o and Diego Costa at their
Samuel Eto'o
right
was
now.
washed when he
over. I would take Higuain right now from Miami or whatever that he plays in the MLS over Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota. You have seen Darwin Núñez miss 62 big chances in 2.5 years in the Premier League, and you have the audacity to tell me that Hazard plays his bum. And if you're talking about your managers, now this is my time to speak. And if you're talking about your manager, then we have to talk about the ownership as well. Because Daddy Roman bought players for Hazard's team to get better every season. Salah had to mentally run it back with the same people that have let us down before. I think the consistency, I think what the players done individually, and you have to look at what the players won in terms of awards as well. Like you're talking about breaking Henry's record, right? Okay, who was Henry passing to? Perez, Ljungberg, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira. Who's Salah creating for? Gakpo, Diaz.
So are you
Jota.
about to? Okay, so are you about to put Salah above Henry soon? Let me ask you that.
I think. Okay, I'll tell you something. I think the Salah Henry debate is a real debate, but people are so destroyed by nostalgia that they can't even have just a genuine, normal conversation about it. Like, have you actually just sat back and watched the 20 Henry assists? Genuinely, have you seen them?
I've not sat and watched them. No, not.
Okay, I've sat and watched them. Dead ass, 8 of them are layoffs.
Oh, we're getting some Henry slander. All right,
no, but it's not even Henry slander. Woo! I think Thierry Henry is the greatest Premier League player ever.
You thought I was going to.
No, but why do we revise stuff, bro?
Yeah, you're about to get clipped.
Okay, Pavel Nedved won Ballon d'Or, right? Arsenal fans say that Nedved robbed Henry, right? They started saying, the same Arsenal fans, Salah now no longer can win Ballon d'Or because we got eliminated in the round of 16. Do you know where did Arsenal get eliminated the year where Henry was robbed? Group stages. Arsenal got knocked out of the group stages of the UEFA Champions League, and they said Henry got robbed.
Yo, Turkish.
Of the Ballon d'Or.
You want to send the link to Turkish?
Listen, I can send him the link. I don't mind. I'm saying I think Henry is the greatest Premier League player ever. I'm not denying this, bro. But for us to act like, oh man, it's because we grew up watching Henry, and it's like me and you having this debate, right? There will be some 58-year-old Man United fan who will come here and go like, Ryan Giggs is the best winger I've seen because when I grew up watching Ryan Giggs, he used to do this and that. Like the same revisionism as well with Paul Scholes. Like, oh, Paul Scholes never made a mistake. Load of shit. Big up, there's a guy on Twitter who's been posting all Paul Scholes' errors on the timeline. Thank you. Because he cost them Champions League semi-finals, he cost them FA Cups, he cost them Carabao Cups. All this revisionism regarding players of the past need to stop. The problem is, in Henry's time, AFTV were not live after every game. Turkish was not doing match reactions after every game, really angry and shit. He wasn't.
But this is why when Salah had the
you
PSG
took it all
games,
in and you just moved on with your life.
Exactly.
But now every single move is analyzed to a crazy umpteenth degree.
I agree
and that's
with you
the issue.
on that.
Like
However,
I brought up the Salah PSG. Matisse is like, I didn't cook him for PSG because the other players should be doing better. I actually cooked him for PSG because I thought he should be doing better.
That's you support them. You
but no problem. But my issue is people go like, Hazard would have never had this game. But Habibi, 10 years ago, you got eliminated to 10 men PSG in your own backyard after Zlatan got sent off. So why do we make up narratives about like, bro, Thierry Henry in a Champions League final passed it to Victor Valdez twice. Okay? So all this nostalgic crap, I'm sorry that you get me. Yeah. Hold that, Arsenal fans. Hold on. So just to interject, this is why this happen if he's so great and he would never allow it to happen, and he affects the game in all phases. I hate when people make up shit, bro. Don't make up shit.
This is where I agree with you, right? People people paint the previous players like they never had bad games, they never had bad moments. Like Rio Ferdinand didn't get cooked by Fernando Torres and Craig Bellamy. Like he didn't have all these individual errors versus fucking, you know, any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Some West Brom striker ripped him up, put it past fucking Van der Sar.
He got eliminated by Porto at Old Trafford. But Costinha scored. Are you mad? Who the fuck's Costinha?
However, what you've got to remember now, and this is what is true in this generation is very statistic heavy, right? So they won't even watch a match, but the statistics will tell you whether you played well or you didn't. And I'm sorry, sometimes you've got to watch the actual football game. Because if you run a game and you play brilliantly in terms of the way that you pass, the way that you dribble, the way that you make the game tick, you make the team tick.
It's not aesthetics.
It's not aesthetics because you have to do those things for the player to put the ball in the back of the net. You don't get the team that wins the league. You don't get Barcelona putting in the goals without Iniesta in the midfield. Because it's funny, when Iniesta is doing it, people understand what I'm talking about. When Xavi Hernandez and Busquets are doing it and running the game and passing and 1-2s and running the game and ball carrying and skill
but
and dribbling.
No winger ever
Hold on a
ran
second.
a game.
No. Wait. When they're doing it, people understand what I'm saying. When Hazard is doing it, it's, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. You're fucking wrong. And you know you are. Because you know you saw Hazard come into centre midfield and pick it up sometimes off the midfielder. You know you saw him play 1-2s. So why is it different when Hazard does it and when Iniesta does it? Why is it different when Xavi does it and when someone else does it? I don't like that. It's disingenuous because you're very happy to appreciate top football teams like Barcelona when it's all unified and together. But then when Hazard's doing it and he's playing with Willian or he's playing with fucking Nemanja Matic and it's not as glamorous across the whole pitch, that's when it's like, oh, we don't understand what's going on anymore.
Willian or Luis Diaz? I dare you name one difference between Willian and Luis Diaz. Go on.
You don't like Luis Diaz?
Inconsistent, both good dribblers, both one day amazing, the next day.
I'm not saying Salah's not playing with some bad players. I'm not
Who's
saying
worse, Diego Costa or Darwin Núñez?
Don't do that because I say.
No, but I'm being honest, mate.
Don't do
At Wembley, I saw Jota clear it from 2 yards.
Hold a second. What you can't do is you can't take the best striker Hazard's ever played with in his 7-8 years with Chelsea and compare it with the worst striker Salah's ever played with.
Who's better, Diego Costa or Firmino? Go on.
As a striker, Diego Costa is a better striker, but Firmino was a great player. Firmino
Costa was a better striker, yes or no?
Yeah, but hold on. This is what I want to talk
Who's
to you about.
had better midfield?
Hold on. This is not football.
Why do you limit it to forwards?
Guys, this is how he always is. This is not football spaces, you know. I thought you moved on from that. Are we not on your channel? Are we not here to talk proper football? Hazard is a playmaker for a striker like Costa, right? Salah is a goal scorer for a facilitator like Firmino. It's like yin and yang. Why would I take Salah's goal scoring ability, which you're praising, the amount of records, etc., and give him a Costa to then have to facilitate more for him and bring those statistics down? When you're feeding a striker like a Haaland or a Costa, etc., your statistics are going to drop because your job is now to facilitate. Salah's job was to get in behind Firmino and get his goals and get his statistics up. So Firmino cannot be discredited for facilitating for the goals on the wing just because. What are we doing here? It doesn't make sense.
Okay, can I ask you a question based on what you just said?
Yeah.
You have seen with your own eyes, and you're the biggest liar if you deny this, all the balls that Salah has played in behind to Darwin Núñez and he's missed. Wait,
I know.
Put Erling Haaland in that scenario. How many times does Salah break the assist record?
He's gonna break it anyway, in my opinion.
He's gonna break it playing with who?
With well, who's been playing up there? Núñez doesn't play every game.
Well, Luis Diaz has been playing false nine.
Yeah,
it's been Diaz.
Because Jota's been injured, so it's been Diaz, and then it's been maybe Gakpo. But all your forwards have been injured, right?
Yeah.
Again, Salah. I said it already. Salah is responsible this season for 90% of your attack. But I'm just here to tell you that
that's not impressive just because he doesn't dribble past
I didn't say it wasn't impressive, but what I'm here to remind you is Hazard was responsible for 90% of our attack as well. And just because he didn't put up 30 goals and 20 assists, that doesn't make that less true. And he won 2 titles. So when you're here just saying, oh, this and that and team of the year and Hazard was in team of the years. Hazard was in FA Cup. I'm sorry, was getting man the matches in World Cup, and you know we can go down there, but I'm not gonna bring up Wikipedia and start listing off.
Allah is Egyptian. Have some shame.
Is that Hazard's fault?
Name one. Is that Salah's fault?
No.
I'm sorry he was born in Egypt. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry he grew up in a village in Egypt and had to take a 5-hour train instead of playing for Genk or one of the British or Belgian clubs and get scouted by Lille and all. Like, Salah never had that opportunity. He never did. He was playing left wing back for Al-Muqawilun Al-Arab, bro. I dare you say that one time after me right now. Say Al-Muqawilun Al-Arab without stuttering. You can't even say that. The guy grew up in a village in Egypt. It's not his fault. Belgium had the golden generation and they failed. Now, if I apply the energy that people apply to Salah in the last week against Hazard, why did Hazard not pick up the ball from deep and change the game against France? Why did Hazard not get the ball and blah, 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 dribble past 7 people and impact the game without goal scoring? Why did blah, blah, blah? Why did blah, blah, blah?
But you
and you want to know the problem why I can't mention you games where Salah doesn't have has an impact now getting GNA? It's because he gets GNA every fucking game.
Okay,
so
can I add
that he doesn't have impact without having
so you know that Hazard played for Lille when he was a teenager, right? You know that Hazard won the league for Lille. Do you think Lille was glittered with world-class players?
You're so shameless. You think you're gonna come here and like waffle to a football historian?
He didn't win the league for Lille. He
won the league with Lille, not won it for Lille.
Okay.
Yeah, like what are we going to talk about?
So where are the rest of the players in that squad that got picked up by Chelsea's and interest from Bayern Munich and Real Madrid? Or what are we doing here?
Let me put up the squad now, bro. I remember the team that they had. I remember they had Musa Sow up top as well,
bro. Joe Cole was like 35 years old, bald, with no hair follicles.
And
so you're gonna try and pretend that Joe Cole after Liverpool, after Brendan Rodgers or whoever was in charge, Roy Hodgson, after Joe Cole with Ricky Lambert and Stuart Down and Paul Konchesky, that's the Joe Cole you're about to prop up.
Listen to this team.
Go on, you shameless man. You
Listen to this team.
Go on.
Listen to this team. Listen to this team. Debuchy, right back, who was a French national. He gets me. Idris Gana Gay, Johan Kabay, Musa Sow, who scored 25 goals that season.
Johan Kabay,
David Rosenhal, Emerson.
Who's Emerson. Johan Kabai's best part of his career was playing for Newcastle with Pape Cisse and Demba Ba.
Adel Rami,
Remember
Mabuba? And that was before PSG got the money as well. That was before PSG became PSG.
Now you're going to try and
tell me the reason why I rank Salah higher than Hazard.
Guys, hold on. Talk about
consistency, longevity, and what he's achieved individually. I think after this season, Habibi, wait. After this season,
Habibi, you wait.
When he wins the 4th Golden Boot and his 3rd Playmaker Award, I think this season it's gonna be like the list of individual accomplishments is way too much. The fact he broke the goal scoring record, he broke Henry's record. He's got 4 Golden Boots playing on the wing. He's got 3 Playmaker Awards, so this debunks the whole thing that he can't create. And the consistency he's had in the English Premier League is absolutely unbelievable, which is why I rank him above Hazard. Now, the reason why I rank Ronaldo above Salah is because I don't think Salah or Hazard hit the heights that Ronaldo hit. So I put Ronaldo number 1 because he won Ballon d'Or and he was consensus best player in the world at the time. Now with Mohamed Salah, I think his heights of this season alone is bigger than like the best season that Hazard had in the Premier League. The season that he had this year, I think that Salah shouldn't just win PFA Player of the Year. I think he should win Nobel Peace Prize for not pulling up to the training ground with a baseball bat and going after the other 3 shit forwards that we've had. We signed Federico Chiesa in the summer. That's so hot if it's summer 2020, but it was summer 2024. Unfortunately, it was 4 years later from when Chiesa was a thing. I sat here and I sat Italian national anthem. I sang it. That's how dead this referendum was. I sang it for Chiesa. So Salah is responsible for our league title more than anything that Hazard was responsible for doing for Chelsea, because Hazard had, I acknowledge Salah has great teammates, but Hazard even at the time, because people always mention the forwards Hazard played with. Okay, but let's mention the midfield. Fabregas, Kante, Matic. You had an unbelievable midfield. Even Oscar at the time when he was balling out, and you know Oscar was balling out.
Don't forget to name Bakayoko. Don't forget to name Drinkwater. Don't forget to name. But you're talking about title-winning season. So basically, because our club had better players in our title winning season than yours, that's your point, right? Fair, no problem. How badly do you rate and rank this Liverpool team? That's up to Liverpool fans and whatnot. You've still got Trent, you've still got Van Dijk, you've still got Konate. You guys have been singing about McAllister and how he's one of the best, right, for the price. Gravenberch rejuvenated. You know, the goalkeeper's the best, right? He's up there with Schmeichel and Czech. So let's not overdo it now. Let's not pretend like you're winning with scrubs, because you're not. I'm happy to say that he's carried the attack. I'm not happy to say he's carried the team.
I don't think he carried the team.
Because first of all, he doesn't play like he has to carry the team, because he doesn't drop into midfield. He doesn't have to pick up the workload of the midfield and pass and carry the ball, pass players in midfield. That's done for him. So let's not do that. But he's carried the attack, and that's fine. Hazard's carried attacks. Salah's carried attacks. This is maybe the best carry job you've seen because it results in the league. I'm fine with that.
I think in Premier League history, this is the best attacking carry job I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone through everything, but it's right up there without even looking. 100%. But for me, with this debate,
I would do a combined 11 of Hazard teammates and Salah teammates. This conversation is very funny because people act like Hazard played with scrubs. If I ask people Czech or Alisson, they're choosing Czech. If I ask people Azpilicueta or Trent, many people choose Azpilicueta. If I ask people Terry or Van Dijk, they choose Terry. You get me like Matip, Konate, or like you get me Gary Cahill. Like, don't come revise this shit to me. You get me? Because I remember, I know what I watched. If I ask people Henderson, Fabinho, Szoboszlai, McAllister, or Cesc, Kante, Matic, all the players he played with, Firmino, if you don't want Nunes, or Diego Costa. That's the thing. Like, I think it might be like a Chelsea XI with Van Dijk and Sadio Mane, essentially. I
think Chelsea won 2 titles with Hazard. Salah's going to win 2 titles with Liverpool. If you're naming all of the best parts, but you're not naming the worst. And Chelsea have won 2 titles in 8 years, similar to Liverpool, for a reason. So it couldn't have been all that rosy. That's what I'm saying. Because if it was that rosy,
and the title sides that Hazard were involved in, did Diego Costa not score 20 plus goals the year that you won the league with Mourinho?
And the title that you won before this one, was Mane not probably your better player than Salah, right? So this is the only campaign that you're really leaning on to make these points, because the last league title you won, you weren't saying this. You wouldn't have been saying
I actually have another campaign.
You had a great team, that campaign. You had a great attack.
Salah was a league champion with Chelsea as well in 14-15. Salah was a league champion with Chelsea as well. He was. And he scored the goal against Arsenal in the 6-0, mate. So he has 3. This is the equivalent. Did he or did he not score a goal for Arsenal against Arsenal at the 6-0 win? Am I making shit up? He did. He did.
You know what I've realized just by you.
Who impacts winning more?
Do you know what I've realized?
Who impacts winning more? Salah.
No, hold on. Do you know what I've realized? If just a couple of things changed in history, we wouldn't have these problems. If Salah had just played well against Shrewsbury Town in a fucking Carabao Cup 4th round fixture, he would have started in the same team as Hazard, and we would have never had to argue with you lot, because we would have just appreciated them both. If Gerrard's house wasn't egged and his family wasn't threatened, he would have played with Lampard, and we would never have had these arguments, because we would have appreciated both. Chelsea fans, when our players leave, you've had Trent leave, we've seen all sorts of things. The corner wasn't even taken that quickly. When our players leave, it's just a different vibe. It's a different feeling. It's love. It's care. It's unless they've done something mad like Lukaku, If these guys had just come to Chelsea, we would never have had these issues. We would have been able to appreciate Salah, appreciate these players for what they are. We wouldn't have all these arguments. That's the rule. That's the new rule now that you must take away from this stream. Join Chelsea and you won't have these petty arguments and problems. You can just
You are a disingenuous fraud because your fan base is literally having protests, which I'm going to ask you about in a bit. Listen, I think Matisse brings a solid argument, but I still beat him in the debate because it's just the consistency.
That's not for you to decide. That's not for you to decide.
It's the consistency.
Your comments. And do you know what? Do you know what? The fact that this is even,
why can't I make a point?
No, because you're lying. The fact that this is on your channel, it already should have a bias in your favor because it's a Liverpool channel, it's a Husam channel. If you lose, if in the comments you dare lose, or even if it's 40, 60, like 70, 30. You should be cleaning up. If this is
You
not a
are
90,
Matisse
10,
Armani, mate.
if
You
it's
have
not a 90, 10,
120,000
you're
subscribers. You've been
cooked.
on the Big Six. You've been on Sky Sports. You get me? I've only been
Nah,
on
that doesn't
Fan
matter.
Zone.
None of that matters.
You get me?
You've been
I've
on
only
Premier
been on
League.
Fan Zone.
You think
to
I
be
ain't
honest
seen your
with you.
face on Premier League on a big TV and you just there smiling, looking back at the
Yeah, I was on
presenters?
Fan Zone. I was on Fan Zone. You get me? I was on Fan Zone. You get me? You are the one that's on here. Thing is, I just think it's the longevity, it's the consistency, it's what he's individually done, and I think Salah has impacted winning more for us, specifically this season. I think this season what he's done has just been absolutely phenomenal. Like when you watch him this year, it's just been insane, to be honest with you. Anyway, let me read these super chats before we bring Matisse back from the good times to the bad times, because this is what we're here for. We're here to ask about his current era. You get me? Where he sat there doing this in front of a camera and smiling because his team just lost 4 consecutive games. You get me? So big up to all of you guys locked in. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Also, Matisse's channel is in the description. If you do live under a rock, you get me, and you don't know who Matisse is, he's only on like 100,000 plus subscribers. So make sure you guys subscribe.
You don't have to know who I am. This YouTube is massive. There's so much more to go out there and do and see, man.
I put you in God tier as well in the tier list when I was.
I appreciate that. I don't even agree, but I appreciate that.
Now, all love though. Eid Mubarak and big ups Matisse is what God's will is saying. Thank you, Habibi. We will be back, inshallah, in Eid. Tomorrow is Ramadan. Both you all are inspirational for us upcoming YouTubers. I appreciate that, Basic. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the love and the emotional support. What do you boys think of possession football? Do you prefer Klopp's high intense, high energy press or 600 passes and tap-ins? I ask because Chelsea bore me, is what Jimmy's saying. Jimmy, can I give an unpopular answer to this, which I am sure probably even Matisse would agree with me? I feel like football fans, when you're winning, couldn't give a shit. If you're putting 3 points on the table and if you're winning trophies, people do not care about style whatsoever. Style only becomes a conversation if you're losing. Like when you start losing and you're in 10th and you're in 8th and you're in 7th, you go like, oh, the football is so shit, we don't even try. But if you're winning, no one cares.
Facts.
Actually, most of the sides that Chelsea won in were actually shit to watch for the most part.
I think shit to watch is a stretch, because I think you can find entertainment in other things. Like this will maybe back up some of your points earlier, but I used to, so because I knew we weren't going to play like Barcelona football, I used to take pride in our defending, and I was entertained by how well we defended. Like the fact that nobody could score against us, and it was almost like you could see the frustration in the opposition. I took entertainment out of that. We were like, yeah, we're going to keep a clean sheet today. We know that we're going to maybe get a 1-0. We might shit house. We take entertainment from the fact that we know that we're the anti-football team. Like we're the anti
like public enemy, basically.
Yeah. So you just take entertainment from different things. But I completely agree with you. It all comes from just winning. If you win, no one.
I don't know what Matisse is saying, but I don't enjoy watching City, to be honest with you, at all.
No, City at the moment are not really that special. No, not really.
I'm even talking like City in their pomp. Like I don't enjoy that style, bro. Like I think
Liverpool were more entertaining under Klopp. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like
Klopp's side is more entertaining. Ferguson was more entertaining. Wenger's Arsenal was more entertaining. Like, bro, I'll be honest with you, Pep ball does not excite me at all. And the reason why his most exciting time was at Barcelona was he had the Joker card, Messi. And by the way, before the City fans get rattled in the chat, we're simply talking entertainment.
Okay. It depends what people want. Like some people want complete control. Like you just know you can't lose because you're just you have every single millimeter of the game figured out. And some people like risk, and some people like jeopardy, and you know what I mean. So it just depends where you get your thrill from. I think for me personally, I just want winning football. I've said this, like if we win because we're a great counter-attacking team, I'm here for it. If we win because we're a great like a Klopp kind of basketball team, I'm down for it. If we win because we're a great controlling pet team, I'm down for it. I
don't think it's biased to say over the last 8 years the most enjoyable team to watch was Klopp's Liverpool.
Oh, how long did you say?
Like since Klopp became manager in the league, I'm just talking pure entertainment. You always
that period,
had
that period Klopp because as a
neutral, as well, his Dortmund sides, like
as a neutral, there was more jeopardy as a neutral because you knew that Liverpool could give up chances because they were crazy, they were tapped.
Big up to Jimmy again who says, agreed. Plus, we're talking Madrid. It's God status. Listen, I don't believe it's God status. You get me? I just think the guy is making a move based on ambition. Husam, seen Salah's story about Trent? I think I love Salah, but I do think he's a bit of a troublemaker when it comes to these things. He posted the story with Trent on purpose. I know exactly what he's doing as well. Muhammad, I love you, bro. Come do an interview on
what did he
By the way,
do?
guys, he posted the story with him, Soboslai, Konate, and Trent just talking on a couch.
What?
Big up to Jimmy who says, without Van Dijk, Al Salah, Alisson, LFC win nothing. Without Trent, I don't think it makes them drop off personally. Respect if you disagree. Here's the thing. PSG and Newcastle are the exact examples of why Trent's creativity would have completely changed the game for us. Completely changed the game for us. And I do think, and this comes even to the Salah Hazard debate, I have never ever claimed that Salah carried Liverpool except one time. Those 6-month period where we had Reece Williams, Nat Phillips, Mane was shit, Firmino was shit, he carried us to top 4. No one can deny that. But I think the word carry is now become this shit word which we just apply to everyone. You don't, bro, with all due respect, Hazard didn't carry Fabregas. Salah is not carrying Van Dijk. Allow this whole carrying crap that people, you want to know what's carry? 2005 Gerrard, carry. 2019, when Barcelona sold everyone and they only kept Messi, that's carry, Habibi. Come talk about real carry. Don't come tell me every time there's a difference between most important player, MVP, and carry. Okay? Because when you have great pieces around you, like, I think Salah has carried our attack, but he has not carried the team.
Yes.
Because obviously Van Dijk, Konate, like Alisson, like he didn't carry these players. You get me? He carried the shit forwards.
Yeah.
Who he puts chances on a plate for. Did Hazard have a Van Dijk and Alisson? The only time he ever had a decent team, he won the Premier League twice. Outside of that, he had Willian and fucking Drinkwater. But I can tell you right now, I don't think this Liverpool team is better than either of the Chelsea league-winning sides, with all due respect. And when you say, did he have a Van Dijk and Alisson? Okay. He had a Czech. He had a Terry. He had a Ashley Cole. He had a Fabregas, a Kante. He had good players. Diego Costa, who was scoring 20-plus goals.
Do you think... And this is not even a retaliation, but do you think the teams that were competing with that Chelsea, I'm trying to remember as well, the teams that were competing with Chelsea back then were better than the teams that are competing for Liverpool now? Because really, you haven't had any competition. And I think as much as we're talking about what could be improved, we still, So Pep City were third. Second, who was second in the 16-17 season? Pep City were fourth, I think, actually, in this first season, weren't they?
But that's Pep. You're talking about the Conte year. That was
Pep's
first year.
I'm trying to distinguish who had better competitors as well, because that makes
no. Liverpool 100% had better competitors because we had to come up against Manchester City. Here's the thing: if Pep Guardiola didn't exist in this cloud world, we have like 4 titles, bro. That's
yeah. This is what I'm saying. So this is why I'm saying, like, it's disingenuous for us to be like, oh, Salah's not played with as good a players as Hazard, when Salah's won a Champions League with Liverpool. He didn't do that on his own. Liverpool have been in how many Champions League finals?
Yeah, but that's why I say I don't think neither carried.
Liverpool have been in how many 90-plus point seasons? Liverpool have been in, you know what I mean? So this Liverpool era that Salah's been a part of.
Yeah, both have had great teammates, 100%.
That Liverpool block that we're talking about arguably is better than Chelsea's block, because Chelsea didn't get to a Champions League final with Hazard. They didn't even win a Champions League. Chelsea didn't compete for as many titles as Liverpool.
You want to know why they didn't win the Champions League?
Now you got me out here trying to tell you about your own team, how much good
you want to know why they didn't win the Champions League? Because Hazard has less open play knockout goals than Theo Walcott.
Look at you.
So much more impact.
You're just a sofa score merchant, or you're just
less Champions League knockout goals than Theo Walcott.
Are you sure you're not on Twitter anymore?
Why all those times that Chelsea got eliminated in the Champions League with Hazard, he didn't carry the ball from halfway line and make the difference and make the impact?
Well, first of all, I think we have to remember that Chelsea were not always in the Champions League with Hazard. They were actually in the Europa League a few times. They were actually out of Europe a few times. That's how great the teams were that he was playing with. But you sometimes like to lie, and you like to pretend it's always been Costa and it's always been Fabregas.
We were going to be out of the Champions League, but unlike Hazard, Salah did not have a season like the season that Hazard had in 15-16.
I know that.
That's the worst season of any superstar in Premier League history.
Facts. And that's why I said Salah's been more consistent. But I'm saying, in terms of heights, I believe Hazard's height in this league is higher than Salah's, and I'm not interested in GNA. But you're wrong. That's fine. We agree to disagree. And we move.
Wrong.
We just move
straight up
on.
wrong.
We just move
So
on.
Gerrard's better than Lampard using your logic.
Again, I've told you last time I was on the channel, you can have which one? Do you want Salah and Lampard? Do you want
No. I'm using your logic. I'm using your logic.
Fine.
Don't.
Yeah. So you can have that one. Yeah, you can have that one. So Gerrard can be better than Lampard.
Matisse Armani thinks Gerrard's better than Lampard.
Let's shake on
No,
this.
I'm not shaking. I'm asking you.
No.
So Matisse Armani thinks Gerrard is better than Lampard.
So no. Matisse Armani thinks Lampard's better than Gerrard and Hazard's better than Salah. And you think Gerrard's better than Lampard and Salah's better than Hazard. If you're willing to shake on some sort of negotiation agreement to take one each, we can talk about that. I said this last time I was here. If you're not willing to do it, then kick rocks.
That's why you are a fraud. Okay, Lewis.
Lampard's statistics and Lampard's records broken. Oh no, I can do all of that. Big moments.
No, but Gerrard has consistency just as much as Lampard.
Who's got better statistics?
Gerrard had, by the way, okay, this is how I measure players. 4 things.
Okay, so now you don't want to do the statistics, man.
No, I do. No. Let me tell you 4 things. This is 4 things I measure.
P90 bullshit either. I don't want to hear about it.
Can I just tell you the thing? You keep interrupting. This not spaces. Till I'm mute you. There are 4 things that I use to measure players. On a real, I'm going to be completely objective. Ability, statistics, individual awards, and consistency. I don't look at trophies at all. Even now, Salah Hazard. Did I bring up, Hazard didn't win the Champions League with Chelsea? I could have easily brought that up. But I don't give a shit about trophies because we're comparing 2 individuals in a team sport. So I don't bring up trophies. I bring up individual awards. Salah beats Hazard on 3 of the 4. And Gerrard beats Lampard on 3 of the 4. By the way, that's why I put Ronaldo above Salah. People think I think Salah is the best.
You need to stop this. No one needed you to put Ronaldo above Salah. That is not a
Premier League. It's a conversation.
That is not
Premier
a gift.
League.
That's not a gift to the footballing gods. Everybody
Premier
knows
League,
Ronaldo
bro.
is better than Salah.
Premier League. Come on, Don. Why did you laugh at my KDB GOAT Premier League midfield take? Because, and this is something Matisse will realize 5 years from now. Now there are people growing up who started watching football 2010 onwards who Kevin De Bruyne and Salah will be their nostalgia. Like 10 years from now, Salah is going to be their nostalgia. That's the crazy part to me. I don't think KDB is the GOAT. I think KDB is top 5. My ranking in Premier League midfielders hasn't changed. I put Gerrard 1, Lampard 2, Patrick Vieira 3. I put Cesc Fabregas at 4, and I put at 5. I put Kevin De Bruyne at 4 and Cesc Fabregas at 5. That's
where
my
do you have Scholes?
Oh, he's not even top 10. He's the most overrated midfielder, and he's the most overrated player in football history. Okay, Matisse, I'm going to be completely just asking one question. If you answer this, I will never bring up Scholes ever again. If Paul Scholes was so instrumental to Manchester United winning a Premier League title or winning anything, why in 20 years of his life he never even won Man United Player of the Year? Explain this to me and I will shut up. Yalla, go ahead here. And if you tell me he had great teammates, Salah had great teammates, he won Liverpool Player of the Year. Hazard had great teammates, he won Chelsea Player of the Year. Lampard had great teammates, he won Chelsea Player of the Year. How am I supposed to say you're the best player in your position in the history of a competition? You never even won your own club's Player of the Year. Do you know that he started 30 games in the Premier League once in his whole career, Paul Scholes? Don't make me open up the can of worms of Paul Scholes, you know? You know that Mason Mount and Jorginho Wijnaldum have more Ballon d'Or votes than fucking Paul Scholes. Don't bring me this Paul Scholes. Do you know that Paul Scholes only made Team of the Season twice, while Gerrard made it a record 8 times and Lampard made it a record 5 times?
Brother, do you know what, yeah?
When me and you were growing up and we played in the playgrounds, we screamed, Gerrard, Lampard. Every day we went to the playgrounds, even in the UAE, and we were talking, who's better, Gerrard or Lampard? United fans felt jealous. They felt left out. So they're like, oh, let me include this guy and let me insert fake quotes, which they have no reference to. No, apparently they asked Zidane, who's the best midfielder in the world? He said, I don't know, ask Paul Scholes. Someone find me this interview. I beg you, someone find me an interview or an article right now of that quote. Made up quotes, made up rubbish. Lampard was a machine. Gerrard was a machine. Scholes was a cog in the machine. If they had Mikel Arteta playing instead of Paul Scholes to pass left and pass right, they would have won 30 Champions Premier Leagues as well. He had literally like almost like null and void impact on that team, bro. Guy couldn't tackle, pass left, pass right 500 times. If they got some random Spanish midfielder called Miguel in the year 2006, he would have passed left, pass right 500 times as well. Fuck off, man.
I'm not involved. I'm not involved. Swear to God on life, I'm not involved, guys. I'm not involved.
When it comes to Paul Scholes, I'm locked and loaded.
I'm not involved.
shit. Oh, he's such a good passer.
I can't
Allow
believe
me, man.
Man just said
Scholes
Arteta.
can't lace Lampard or Gerrard's boots.
Man said
He's not even in the
Arteta.
same conversation, bro. The consistency argument. Okay, by the way, Roy Keane was better than Scholes as well. You get me? He's closer to Carrick than he is Gerrard. The consistency argument. Okay, by the way, he got hooked off in the Champions League final that they beat Chelsea in. By the way, he didn't play in the 99 final. And the 2 finals he played in, they lost both. If Scholes was in the level of Xavi and Iniesta, why didn't he pass around them? You know, because they called him Sat-Nav in training because he put the ball in the tree. The consistency argument, okay, the way Hazard affected games is so different. So naturally his GA will be lower. Eden started 1 league at 16. But I never said Hazard didn't have consistency. He did, just outside the Premier League. Like from his Lille days, and it continued on to the Premier League. Just like Salah did. Fiorentina, Roma, that was consistency.
Can I ask you? Did Xavi? Speaking of Xavi, did Xavi ever win Barcelona Player of the Year? That's just a question. I'm not trying to trick you. I actually don't know.
Man.
Did he actually win it?
Yes, and Xavi got Ballon d'Or votes. And Xavi was in the World 11. And Lampard was in the World 11. And Gerrard was in the World 11. Scholes never made the World 11 once. They won 13 titles and 2 Champions Leagues in his time. He never even made the fucking World 11. He made the Premier League team of the season twice. He made it twice. Do you understand? There are players in this league like Yaya Toure who have made PFA team of the season more, and he had just
cooking. Your cooking of Scholes is crazy. Like,
but
the
it's
way,
true, bro.
it's
Why can't no one
crazy.
deny anything I say, bro?
No. It's just. I can tell that you have, before you even started YouTube, you used to look in the mirror and cook Scholes for a living, because the way that you just have all of these things to just reel off is not normal. Your hatred towards Scholes needs to be studied in Oxford University.
That's not hatred. You want to know what I hate? Revisionism. Yaki, my whole life, I grew up, we were always talking Gerrard Lampard. 2014, Scholes retires. All of a sudden, he became Messi of the Premier League. Out of nowhere. Like, he retired and became better after retirement. Where you made this stuff from, Habibi? Wallahi, no one wanted to be Scholes. Wallah, no one wanted to be Scholes when I was growing up. Iniesta is majestic. However, his GA was bollocks. He played left wing LCM, but he's still one of the best midfield. Why doesn't stats matter than bias? Stats do matter with midfielders, but you have to compare them to other midfielders. Like, it's like an Iniesta Modric thing. It's not an Iniesta Salah thing. I don't think that's fair, to be honest with you. And the only times he played left wing was when he played a couple of times for Barcelona, but not even that. And he was almost like a 4th midfielder at times. Hazard was injured 1/4 of the bad season, context, and 3/4 of the season, he was shit. Individual accolades, calm, than Lampard's greater than Gerrard. Actually, that's not true, because Gerrard have more individual accolades than Lampard.
Have you gone through Wikipedia and counted all of this?
I can tell you right now.
Or did you put chalk on your walls and count? Like,
no, I don't even need chalk. I don't need Wikipedia.
You see,
Gerrard made PFA Team of the Year 8 times. Lampard made it 5. Gerrard made the World 11 3 times. Lampard made it.
Hold on.
Gerrard won England Player of the Year 4 times. Lampard won it twice.
Guys, this is the type of this is what is killing our love for the game. You can be a chalkboard fan like Husam, who has his wall and he has his lines that he's lining for each accolade for each individual, or you can be me. I just love players playing football at the top level. This whole him.
So when you watch Scholes, did you want to be Scholes? Be honest,
brother. I had Lampard for that, and yes, I would have had Gerrard for that more than Scholes. So no, I did not choose Scholes because I had better.
Did anyone, when you grew up playing football in the playground, ever say he wants to be Scholes? I dare you. Tell me one of your childhood friends. Bring him here. I dare you.
Why can't we just enjoy elite players? Just enjoy. What is with all of this animosity?
I enjoy elite players. I just don't think Scholes is in the elite category.
Do you I don't know. Do you do this with food? Do you sit there with your pizza and you say you don't have the same level of G&A than with your hamburger? Do you compare everything in your world, in your life? Do you do this? Because it must be exhausting. You must give your pizza a line when the pepperonis or whatever. I don't know what you put on your pizza.
That's a shit comparison, Matisse.
No, but
because with food, it's about taste. Okay, with food, it's
with
taste,
football, it's
texture.
about taste. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
See how
with football, it's about taste.
With food, it's about taste.
Football is about taste
and the way it looks.
Oh,
me and you have both had plates of food. Me and you have both had plates of food that look like shit but taste amazing. Yes or no?
Aesthetics merchant.
Yes or no? Can you answer?
How did so because the foot
Have
because
we
we're-
not
no,
both had plates of food that look like
No.
shit and taste amazing?
so
Yes or no?
because the food doesn't look good on the plate, now you're giving it document marks. Aesthetics.
But this is the problem with you. You don't listen. I said 3 categories: taste, texture, and the way it looks. Okay. The most important thing is taste, which is impact, consistency. You get me?
Oh,
Anyway.
it's not okay. It's not
People
down
love the
to
eye
hold
test
on,
too
hold
much.
on, hold on. Taste is not down to the individual in terms of what they like to eat / watch. Yeah. See, you set yourself up for your own
So why
own
does
cooking.
so if it's individual, why does a Jordanian, a Colombian, a Malaysian, and an Indian all like pizza then? Go on.
Because they all have the same taste in that moment, but you don't all like something else.
In that moment. You're full of shit and you know it. People love the eye test too much. The real question is who impacts winning more, Salah or Hazard? It's Salah. I agree with this. I just think Salah impacts winning more. That's just the reality of the situation, mate. That's the reason why Hazard has less knockout stage goals than Theo Walcott. So much for impact. Longevity is overrated. Ronaldinho, R9 had short peaks. We still rate them at the top. Yeah, but but they had peaks of like insane peak, like best player in the world peak. Even if it was for 4 or 5 years. Best player in the world peak. Hazard never had that. Hazard's never the best
okay,
player
so that's true. However, Neymar and Hazard would have had better chances if they weren't up against freaks. And you know, these freaks, we have to start recognizing them.
Hazard, Neymar, and Salah are the same age, mate. Neymar could have still been playing in Europe if he doesn't go party with his sister and get injured because he doesn't give a fuck about football. Hazard has said previously in interviews that he doesn't have the training and all that shit. Maybe if he trained more.
He doesn't.
Okay,
He doesn't.
so
But
Hazard
neither
is
does
the same age. Why
Ronaldinho.
is he
Neither did
Why is he playing with
Ronaldinho.
Tunks at the same age?
Hold on. Neither did Ronaldinho. And this is the thing. R9 and Ronaldinho, Brazilians in general, they don't tend to be like, oh, we're gonna go and have
Hazard's
6
not
packs
Brazilian,
like
not
Salah.
Brazilian.
6
Hazard's not
packs.
Brazilian.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but you're saying these guys, right? So we're talking about these guys. These guys weren't rolling around with 6 packs. These guys weren't training like Cristiano Ronaldo, but they didn't have these guys there with them. So eras and peaks and what you're going up against skews it a little bit, doesn't it? Because if Hazard was playing in the early 2000s with all the guys that like to have a drink and have a burger and have a bit of weight, then you might look at it different, wouldn't you? But now we're in an era of you better go to the gym.
I think Salah's peak is better than Hazard's peak, which is this year. It's
Brother,
happening in front of your very own eyes.
Listen. Salah's obviously gone a lot longer, but let's be honest. Hazard started earlier, so you know don't forget that in your analysis. That's
Yeah, and I won't forget the fact that Salah cooked for Roma and Fiorentina as well. Just tuned in and cooked for Basel. Just tuned in. Big up to Husam for this.
Oh, so the Swiss league is now suddenly really important to you. How did that happen?
French league before PSG got the money is important to me. Oh.
I think the French league is significantly higher than the Swiss league, especially when Ronaldinho
Italian
played for
league
PSG.
or French league?
Which French club did Ronaldinho play for, by the way?
Italian league or French league?
Answer my question.
You answer my question.
Which French
Italian league or French league?
Because you were just there licking.
He's not answering.
You were just licking the rim of Ronaldinho. So what?
He
French
did it
club
in the
did he play
Champions
for?
League. Salah did it in the Champions League for Basel. Scored against you at Stamford
You
Bridge.
keep doing this. What league and what team did he play for? Was it PSG?
Basel.
Yes or no?
Who?
Ronaldinho played for PSG. Yes or no?
Yeah, he did.
How long was he there for?
2 years.
Okay, so why are we disrespecting Hazard's 2 top seasons in League On? And why are we comparing it with the Swiss league? Do you compare Ronaldinho's League On season with the Swiss league too?
Yeah, Habibi, have some shame.
Yeah, your silence.
I am not talking about the
Your
Swiss
silence is
league. I
deafening.
mentioned Italy.
Your
I
Honor,
mentioned Italy.
Yeah,
The Italian league is better
that's
than the
fine.
French league.
He still didn't
Roma.
start earlier. He was in his 20s.
Roma.
He was in his 20s. He was in his
Who
20s.
scored twice? Who scored twice in Turin to destroy?
He was in his 20s.
Unbeaten.
He was in his 20s.
So Salah has her longevity.
20s. Yeah, he does. Of course, he has longevity.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he's done 10 years and Hazard.
On purpose so you can postpone the blue coat.
No. Hazard, I don't give a shit. Blue coat, we go. But Hazard started in his teens and went to his late 20s. Salah started in his early 20s and now is in his early 30s. Am I wrong or am I right?
So what if Salah doesn't?
So when we're having longevity debate between we're having longevity debate between Hazard and Salah, stop pretending like as if Hazard has done 5 years and Salah's done 15. He hasn't. It's very similar. If someone does if someone does 8 years at the top and somebody does 10, we don't talk about it because it's not important.
I hear voices in my head. Who told you Hazard is not consistent? Did you hear me say that once?
Yes. No. Listen,
I
brother.
said
Let's
Salah
move on.
is more consistent, not Hazard is not consistent.
Brother, let's move on, please.
Yes, because you've been destroyed. Just tuned in. Big up to Husam for this Conference League show. Them tiny teams deserve some love too. This Matisse guy seems cool. Yeah, this Matisse guy, like you don't know who he is, Frankie. You are a fraud. Hope he does well. Big up to you, Frankie. Big up Matisse. Off topic. Rest in peace, Jogo Bonito, Brazil. Yeah, there's no Jogo Bonito.
Oh yeah. Me and Husam will agree with this.
Yeah,
this is
dead completely, bro.
dead.
Brazil, fucking awful. If Vinicius is like the king of Brazil now, that sport is fucking dead, bro. How's your best player a goalkeeper? Do you think Caicedo and Lavia regrets snubbing LFC? Is what Bashar is saying. Look, Matisse can deny this, but I think deep down they probably do think about it at night sometimes. Go like, fuck, we could have been Premier League champions. We could have been blah, blah, blah in the Champions League. I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. I think deep down they do regret it to an extent.
I mean, Lavia has everything to regret because he's not even playing. So he might feel there's nothing to talk about with Lavia. He doesn't play. You know what I mean? That brother probably just regrets like coming to Chelsea because he can't stay fit. Maybe Liverpool's medical team would have done better with him. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, in the immediate first couple of years, Liverpool been way better than Chelsea. But if Chelsea over the next 10 years are better than Liverpool, then there'll be no problem. So it's on us to perform, and then he won't have an issue.
I hear you. Scholes number 10 midfielder, number 1 toe sucker. There you are. Listen, I'm taking many midfielders above Scholes. Don't even get me started. Gerrard, Lampard, Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane, Cesc Fabregas, N'Golo Kante, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Yaya Toure. I keep going. Don't start me because this will never end. Got a good one. Who do you rate then better than Zidane? No one above Zidane other than Messi and Ronaldo for me. Messi and Cristiano. That's it. But Zidane was like, for me, he's number 3 on my list. I go Messi, Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, R9, Ronaldinho Gaucho. That's my top 5. KDB better eye test and stats, but listen, with all due respect, Essie, I know you're about 21 years old. No one has had better eye test than Gerrard in Premier League history in midfield. Eye test is all Gerrard. Like the guy did everything on the pitch. Stop it.
You're gonna be fighting a big fight there because this new gen, like you just told me, and
this will be the nostalgia.
and De Bruyne both footed, and it's how many Premier Leagues did Gerrard win versus it's gonna be spooky.
Eid Mubarak, Habibi Sultan. Eid Mubarak. Unfortunately, you guys have Eid tomorrow, Sultan. I have it after tomorrow, so I have to pass tomorrow. To me, Scholes is a Trent. Don't ever disrespect Trent like this. You watch them and you think they do fuck all, then they pass shoot to go to Aziz Navas. Athletical shit, talented. But Scholes is not even that talented. Like Lampard and Gerrard in the final third are even better than Scholes. Like all this passing stuff, bro. Jimmy, listen, there's a guy on Twitter.
You have to remember Scholes at the early part of his career was, he's playing like second striker. He was getting goals. He's getting goals at the early part of his career. Scholes shown that he can score and he did have an instinct. It's similar to Fabregas in that way, because I remember Fabregas used to play really hard at the pitch and get goals as well and be on the end of things, and not on the end of things, but he used to, he needs to put the work in front of goal. And then he dropped deeper and he started to play those crossfield balls and whatnot. So I wouldn't underestimate Scholes' versatility on a football pitch to the degree you're doing it, because he has shown that he can do many different things. Like when he was a lot younger, he was he could get about a lot more. Then obviously, Scholes was at Man United at 38, was it? Coming back to win a league title. Like we're talking longevity now.
We're talking,
that longevity is not something to just, like you just said. You said the same shit to me. That longevity and that consistency. And I'm sorry,
why can't you understand this?
I know peaks, and I'm not saying Scholes' peak is better than Gerrard or Lampard's, but what I am saying is that when you're playing for the greatest manager in the history of the league, and he is a very ruthless man, and he's told many a man to take a hike. There must be a reason why Scholes was continuously, consistently in that middle of the pitch for the most successful.
Yeah, he was the teacher's pet. All the United
players. I'm not a teacher's pet. I'm just.
He, not you.
Oh, I'm teachers. Come on, brother. Teacher's pet. What are you talking about?
He was.
Darren Fletcher could have been a teacher's pet. That does, what's that going to do for you, bro? Come on now.
Okay,
you got to have some ability.
We are going to risk copyright infringement just to educate the masses. This is the great Paul Scholes never made an error right here. Watch this. We have the thing muted. You get me? Watch this.
Oh.
Watch the great Paul Scholes never made an error. Watch. Watch now. Watch now. Never made an error. Never made an error. Right there. Oh, never made it. Oh, look, the great technician back at it again. Let's watch the great technician here. Watch. Oh, look who gives the ball away. Look how technically unbelievable he is. Let me mute. Look how technically unbelievable he is. Watch him get the ball. Watch Mr. Technician here. Getting pressed, not the modern style, the old style, which is just running at you. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, look at the technician losing the ball and them conceding a fucking goal because of it getting knocked out of the FA Cup. Oh, look, let me show you another video of another moment where he was so look how much. Yeah, I'm muted. Look how much pressure he was under here. Watch how much. Look, he's under so much pressure. You don't know who pressed him there? Danny Murphy pressed him. Look at this unbelievable first touch. He was so phenomenal.
Okay. Husam.
Paul Scholes, according to Zinedine Zidane, was the best midfielder. One second. Let me speak. You get me? Watch this. Pow! Gets stolen by Danny Murphy. Danny Murphy's running through on net. Pow! They go 1-0 down to fucking Fulham. Never made a mistake. Oh, you want to keep going? Oh, we keep going till tomorrow, habibi. Want to do this? Blackburn Rovers. You get me? Blackburn Rovers. Watch this now. I want to show you how great. Look at the great Paul Scholes here. Look at the great. Oh, he never lost the ball. He's so press resistant. He's so fucking amazing. Oh, look. Watch. Oh, he loses the ball to fucking Blackburn Rovers. And they concede a goal at fucking Old Trafford. Don't come and do revisionism in front of my face when it comes to this gender overrated fraud. I think Kevin De Bruyne.
But hold on. You know that people can literally take Gerrard and do the own goal in the Carling Cup final against Chelsea, can do the slip for Demba Ba. Yeah, come on, you know this. So why would you do this?
This is Paul Scholes, by the way, just quickly, statistically, because numbers matter. Remember when we were talking about this conversation? He started more than 30 games twice in his whole career at Manchester.
That surprised me. That did surprise me when you said that.
Watch this. Watch this.
I didn't know
He
that.
started more than 30 games only once in his fucking Premier League career. And you're sat here and talking to me about consistency. My ass. He's a cog in the machine. I think Kevin De Bruyne is Gerrard with better playmaking. That's fine if you think that. Like, I rate KDB highly. Just the other gingers I hate. Why is this Chelsea fan putting Neymar and Hazard in the same sentence? Hazard highest place in Ballon d'Or was 8th, Salah 5th twice, is what Posted is saying.
It's so funny that people want to take the Ballon d'Or so seriously when we've seen such bollocks from it from so. Jorginho finished 3rd. Does that mean Jorginho was better than Hazard because Hazard never finished 3rd? You lot need to really go outside and smell fresh air.
No,
this is the type of shit. If you lot are coming to the table with arguments about Ballon d'Or positions, you need to go outside and smell fresh air.
I don't disagree with any winner over this last 10 years. I think
I'm not talking about winners, because when you win it, it's like it takes a lot to win it, so it's pretty undisputed most of the time. But we're talking about we're talking about who was 5th and who was 6th and who was 7th. I just told you Jorginho was 3rd.
Speaking of Ballon d'Or,
hold on. Has Salah ever been top 3?
No, but he was top 5. 5th he finished.
Oh, so and Mane's been higher than Salah, and so is Van Dijk. So is Mane and Van Dijk bigger Premier League legend than Salah? Listen, let's not do this.
No, Ballon d'Or alone is not a thing, but you have to add it up. Like,
yeah, but just don't bring it up because it's foolish. It's just silly.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, Jorginho had a higher Ballon d'Or finish than Paul Scholes. Makes you think. Big Serie A watcher here. Salah was decent at most, is what Godswill. Don't be full of shit. Salah at Roma was not decent. Even Matisse will tell you he was very good at Roma. Stop it, man. Don't overdo stuff. You can criticize, just don't overdo. He was decent at Fiorentina. He was very good at Roma. And then he became world class at Liverpool. You get me? Don't say decent. Terry, Van Dijk, Ferdinand, or company. I go Terry first. I think Terry is the best centre-back Premier League history.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I go Van Dijk second.
Yeah.
Ferdinand 3rd, company 4th. Rank Maradona, Salah, Rivaldo, Neymar in order. Maradona, Rivaldo, Neymar, Salah.
I can't speak on Maradona or Rivaldo because I ain't watched them, but you know, stories, and they've told me that they were pretty good. Neymar above Salah for me. Huh?
You know, yeah, same. I put Neymar third. You want to know what triggers people? I always say Neymar is the better footballer. I think Neymar has had the better career. I think Neymar is ranked way higher in the generation list, like with over Salah. Just because I say Salah at Liverpool was better than Neymar at PSG, people lose their shit completely. I think that's a completely valid statement to make. That's not.
I just think it's more difficult to play at the highest level in the Prem than probably League On. Like PSG, the gap in quality is vaster, you know. So,
and speaking of heights, consistent energy. I think I don't like the heights that Neymar hit at Barcelona, Santos. I'm sorry, like that was
yeah, mad,
unbelievable.
mad.
Overdo. I only do what you do, mate. Come on, G. Listen, sometimes I overdo, okay? But Scholes, I'm not overdoing. Don't let Terry Flewers, Saeed TV, Rants, any of the Man United content creators sit you down and tell you how great Paul Scholes was, okay? Please. Big up to Nafisa who says, everyone hit the like. Saeed Mubarak. Shukran, Nafisa Habibti. I appreciate it. And make sure guys are all hitting the like button. And it's only been an hour and a half into the stream because Matisse want to interrupt every 3 seconds that we're getting to talk.
You said you wanted my time today. I have time.
No,
I
did.
I have time to argue.
I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate and love you always. Come on, man. Come on. Big up to all of you guys in the chat. Make sure guys are liking. Make sure guys are subscribing. Now we're going to put the nostalgia in the bag and talk about modern day shit Chelsea. So hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel right here, right now. Yeah, okay. So then what me and Matisse have been talking about is true. It's just the current version is your nostalgia. Like you grew up, you started watching the Van Dijk era, the Kevin De Bruyne era.
Yeah, everybody's. I think that's fair that everybody favors what they watched with their own eyes because and what they watched when they were younger. Because when you're younger, you're more impressionable and more like fan. You're more like a fan, like not fan. You're more of a a stan. You're more of a stan. As you get older, you grow up and
and there's many rival players I rate and stuff. Like I can be on. I just said Terry's the best centre back I've ever seen in Premier League history. Like I rate Roy Keane very highly. I rate Rooney. Rooney, I think he's like, bro, this guy should be like second in Premier League history, bro. Like I rate so many United players. Like I just put Ronaldo above Salah. Like I rate so many United players. It's just one guy that you're not gonna revise to be. Okay.
Yeah. Like we're less likely to stand and to like worship players as we get older because you know what I mean, they're usually younger than us. So I
love how you're talking like you're really old when you're like, how old are you now, mate?
I can't look at like there's a Chelsea kid out there that probably like thinks Madueke is his favorite player. I'm like, bruv.
And speaking of Madueke, modern day Chelsea, exactly. Put the nostalgia in the back, talk about shit Chelsea. Matisse, there is a civil war. First of all, genuinely, on a real, I'll say this to you on camera. I genuinely appreciate you giving me your time because I know your time is very precious. I appreciate it.
My girlfriend wants me in half an hour, though. I just have to let you know.
That's fine. 2 hours is good. Oppenheimer Chelsea currently, civil war, protests, Boehly out, Maresca out, Bluco out. There is so much shit happening in your fan base, in your club, at your club. What is going on right now? Tell me.
I'll be honest, yeah. Like, with this club, I think is so important to like take it all in and I have, but then also to step back and just let shit play out as well. Because if you're just every day just consumed with the nonsense, you're just gonna be depressed. Like the Vivid Seats thing with Todd Boehly, I think that had to be addressed. And I immediately, as soon as I saw that, I said that's a conflict of interest. You can't be trying to crunch down on tickets, resales, and ticket touting and trying to like set policies and send emails into inboxes, but then you have a 40% ownership on something that is doing exactly what goes against the policies that you're putting out. So that was always going to have to be addressed. And I was hoping that it was going to be him that was proactively seeing it was there and proactively come out and speak on it. So we didn't have to come and well, not we, but the supporters trust didn't come and have to file a complaint against his ass and put it to the Premier League. I was hoping that he'd be proactive instead of reactive, but it is what it is. It was always going to have to be spoken about. It will get dealt with. Hopefully, I don't know how he's going to navigate that, but he has to, because that's unacceptable. The next thing is the lack. I keep speaking about this because I think it's more important than people let on. We are the only club without a front of shirt sponsor. The reason why I bring this up is because it is directly impacting our revenue. We have less money than we should. Now, I don't want to hear about having to raise funds. I don't want to hear about we don't have money for this position or that position when we are literally leaving money on the table from a business standpoint. These guys came in because they were meant to be able to run this operation from a business standpoint better than Roman ever did. That's what they said. We're going to bring in more sponsors. We're going to bring in more money. We're going to do things because we're American. We seize opportunities. We see gaps in the market. We're going to handle it. How have we not got a front of shirt sponsor? I don't know. I think that's poor. I think that's something that is, that's bad business. We're losing money every day we step out to the pitch. That's something for me that, it's another thing that, fix up. And then the other issues just are down to the other issue is obviously Blues Co. And then you look at like player recruitment and decisions that are made. And again, I've said so many times, we have signed a lot of talented players. I've said that so many times. Like a lot of these players, if you were to take them out of our environment and put them in the right environment, they would do really well. And you would see some really good talents and they'd have really good careers and they're not bums. Some of them are bums. Some of them, Robert Sanchez is a bum, but most of them are not. But because of the way that we decide to kind of build in a very frantic, high turnover of staff, high turnover of players all the time, we don't have a balance, in my opinion. We don't have the right leadership. We don't have a respect for certain intangibles like being able to win or score from set pieces or have, just certain things that you need to get through games in a season that don't always rely upon ball to feet, perfect play, tiki-taka. Because we have to play the perfect way to win. We can't play percentage pass. We can't even cross. If you say to this Chelsea team right now, imagine being a top team and you go out wide and you want to whip the ball in and you can't. And it's not because you can't in this moment. It's because if you go to the bench, you bring anybody on, you cannot do it. It's not possible. It doesn't matter if it's in Cuckoo, Jackson, Guy. You can't really, with full trust, say, I'm going to whip this ball in like a Chris Wood and score a header. My team that was assembled for 1 point whatever billion should never be able to sit there and say they cannot whip in a cross to score a goal. That is blasphemy. And that's just one aspect of the game that we don't have covered on top of 4, 5, 6. And that is why managers struggle and fans are left feeling annoyed. And, that's why when people that have been here before, ex-players or like Lampard, ex-managers, Nagelsmann or Enrique rejecting us, Christopher Vell leaving, they're saying, listen, you're trying to cook up something. We're not telling you it's completely wrong, but there are certain things in there you need to fix, you need to change, you need to alter. And that is really all it is. I don't give a shit how we win. I just want to win. But what I don't like is I don't like stockpiling. I get it's the model. You don't necessarily have all the sister clubs to go along with it. I see a lot of wasted loans sometimes, some good loans, some wasted. I see a lot of players in the under 23s that were meant to be developing to make a profit. They don't have a club. I see a lot of rushed last minute deals. I see people that are forgotten and left to the wayside. I see a lack of balance in the team. Profiles don't match up. People are out of position. There's a lot going on. But at the end of the day, we gonna be here regardless, and I'm just all I need is just top 4 and a trophy, and then we're probably gonna have to kick on because I don't think for all of this Blues Co kind of kerfuffle we've seen even with Strasbourg. I don't hear about any protests right now. I don't know if they're still protesting. They're fifth. I said this on my channel before. 99% of fans are very results based driven. If Chelsea are second, third, fourth. Not even fourth, but if Chelsea are in the title race and Chelsea are playing well, you're not going to hear about maybe these other issues as much as you should, like the tickets and the sponsors and stuff. When you're not really playing as well, or you're bad form, that's when these things come up a bit more. They're more prevalent. So I'm just not stupid enough to think, like if we're doing really well at the start of next season, the first 10 games, we got 7 wins, 2 draws and a defeat, people are going to be outside protesting because they're not. I know they're not. Yeah. But I still want these things fixed. So it's a balance. It's like we need to hold these people accountable. You need to sort this, but the pitch speaks for itself most of the time, and that's what dictates. So it is. That's what it is. That's what it is right now.
I think you've been very logical. I think you've been absolutely very logical with this debate. But before I kind of comment and just ask you just in terms of future and stuff. This whole kind of Maresca conversation. I know you were very objective as well with Poch, and you only lost it when you had a reason to lose it, which I there was, but I think even you can understand now why I felt like I was defending Poch last year.
Listen, you're not emotionally attached to it, so when when we're getting slapped 5-0 to Arsenal and we're losing to Liverpool's kids in a final, we're losing back, we're getting battered at Anfield, we're playing horrendously away at Middlesbrough, I think it was in the Carabao. These moments stick out in your mind and you don't forget them. Whereas for you and many others, they're just results in isolated incidences in a long season. For me, I just felt like with Poch, we were going to be kicking the can down the road for the next season. There's just that deep disdain and disconnect to him from enough of the Chelsea fan base for it not to be worth our time. Like, he is too in that whole Spurs thing, and his again, the way that he was, speaking in press conferences, a bit of a language barrier, the way he was kind of coming across, or the lack of connection to the fans. I just think if you don't like Klopp is completely synonymous with Liverpool. Ferguson with Man United, Wenger with Arsenal, Mourinho with Chelsea. That's what I want. Tuchel with Chelsea. We had that with Tuchel. That's why I ride and die for Tuchel, because Tuchel, I felt like we had that again. Everybody pulling in the same direction. People love listening to him speak. He's a tactician. He's a great, communicator. He's a winner. Like the personality. I just think you got to have everything pulling in the right direction to really see longevity. We keep Poch for a second season, and then at some point, people are still going to come with the points of, he's ex-Spurs. He still hasn't won anything. So for me, it's like that relationship was never really going to last.
Is it fair to say, had Poch stayed, you would have like almost guaranteed top 4 this season? Just given the consistency, the longevity, like even the players didn't hate him. Like you saw their Instagram posts when the guy left, like they really liked working under Poch. Do you think it's a fair objective point to make that had you just given Poch a bit more time, minimum top 4 would have been guaranteed?
The biggest argument I gave you last season, and this is what I'll say again, is that the club and the manager were not pulling in the same direction. Pochettino valued Gallagher. He valued Trevor Chalobah. He was probably his best centre-back in the final 5 games. So we can't say that Pochettino makes top 4 when the club were willingly trying to take away what he wanted to build around. So if you give the manager the wrong group of players that don't fit his ideology and style, he's going to underachieve, because this squad was not built for Poch, right? So if you give Poch a squad that he wants and that he values and he rates and it has the profiles that we talk about the midfield. We talk about the midfielders he had at Tottenham or the midfielder he had at Southampton. And then we talk about Enzo Fernandez and the way that Pochettino was using him. He didn't want to put him in a double pivot, really. He wanted him further forward, right? He wanted him almost as a second striker at times because he wanted more physicality in the midfield. Gallagher, so if you're not going to if you're not pulling in the same direction, for me, top 4 in this league with how competitive it is and how many clubs are actually running with a bet, with a structure where everybody's pulling in the same direction. Look at Nuno and Nottingham Forest are third, not because they're pulling in different directions, because they're going in the same direction. It's not because Nottingham Forest have got world-class players. It's because Nottingham Forest have got players that Nuno wants to work with that fit what he wants to do so he can get results. I mean, look at Pochettino of PSG. He was never going to work well with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar all at the same time because he doesn't know what the fuck to do with those guys because he wants to press from the front. So it doesn't matter what Galactico stars you give your manager. If that is not the right fit for them and what they want to do, you're not going anywhere. So I can't sit here and say a club that we're trying to rip up what he wanted to keep and add what he doesn't want or need was going to be harmonious and finish 4th. Like there's just no point me saying that. No chance.
So you are going to get asked this question across the season. I know you've been asked it as well, but for the people listening right now, maybe for the first time, what is your cutoff point with Enzo Maresca?
I don't have one because my cutoff point is with the directors. They hired him. They fast-tracked him. They're the ones that appointed him. They're the ones that took him from the Championship, plucked him, spent 72 hours every day researching him, thought that he was the best fit for the squad they were building, told him he was head coach, not manager, so he has no say or control on transfers, gave him Dewsbury Hall, gave him Felix, gave him Renato Vega, decided not to move in January, not recall any of the midfielders. This is all on them. So for me, I have no cutoff with Maresca. My cutoff starts with the directors. If we don't finish, and that's, it starts, because everybody says, why not the owners? The cutoff starts with the directors. We can get to the owners, no problem. But for me, the directors are like that's the bottom.
Biggest problem.
Yeah, that's the bottom. That not even the biggest problem, but that's the bottom line. Like the manager is not even. I just look at the manager with the players. You know what I mean? Like, manager is just with the players. He's inexperienced and young, and in his first season in the Premier League, I knew he was going to make mistakes. I was hoping that he was going to finish comfortably in the top 4. But if he doesn't, I can't pretend to be really, really shocked. It's not like when you bring in an experienced manager that you know and that has won things, and you can be like, I expect this from you because you've done this previously and you're a top manager. This brother is from Leicester in the Championship in his first season in the Premier League. So of course he's going to make mistakes. Of course he's going to learn on the job. So if he gets to a point where people think we need to sack him, my better question is, do you trust the people that hired him to hire again?
Yeah.
Why would I trust
that was the same thing I was talking about, like with Poch last season. I don't want to keep bringing it back to Poch, but it's reality, which is I do think people above him are the ones that are at fault. And the fact that even as a Liverpool fan, I know when Stanley and Stewart and Todd Boehly and Iqbali and Blue Co and the protests and all the stories, like, listen, with all due respect, 90% of the Premier League clubs, we don't know the name of the sporting director and the scouts and Marina and all, where all this shit started from to begin with. And you could tell even right now, like, I feel bad for Maresca to an extent, because there will be people who are Maresca out, and some are already Maresca out because they haven't learned from last season, and they shouldn't have been Poch out to begin with. I think it could be a world, and get ready for this, even for you as a Chelsea like icon in the community. There could be a world where the season from last year gets reversed, meaning the ending that you had to last season was really good, the start was shit. This year it's the opposite. The start is really good and then the ending's shit. Like, there is a world, and I'm saying this to everyone in the chat. People act like Chelsea are guaranteed the Conference League. You're never guaranteed a trophy. Matisse was there when I was guaranteed the Europa League, and then fucking Atalanta knocked me out.
Yeah, you still got to
take all those kids away to Poland, Legia Warsaw, with all the ultras and the people jumping up and down the stadium. I don't know if they're not going to shit themselves in the pitch. Like, these are the things that I talk about. Like, I'm not even minimizing that, but you could get knocked out of the Conference League. You could end up losing out on top 4, top 5. You could have a real big issue with Chelsea now to end the season. It's a genuine possibility. And I'm not saying this like from a perspective of, you shouldn't have sacked Poch. And like, okay, I believe that you shouldn't have sacked Poch. I believe that Poch wasn't at fault, which is my opinion. But now the people are finally coming back and realizing that the sporting directors are at fault. And by the way, you protested, and a day later you guys signed Quenda.
However, when I said sack Poch, I made it very clear to put in my title of my videos, sack Pochettino and the sporting directors. I always said both. If you're going to sack Poch, you got to sack the sporting directors as well. And I think with the sporting directors, there's a lot of people that are confused. Some people are confused because they've signed Andre Santos and they've signed Esteval. And it's like, how can we sack people that have signed these talents? And look how a broken clock can be right twice a day. If you sign 50 under 23 players, you're going to be left with 5 top ones. But that can't be the model. The model can't be the percentage hit rate on stars out of 50 to be 5. That can't be the model, because that's not a percentage that you'd pass an exam with. Like, that's just pissing in the dark, and most of the time there's splashback and some of the time there isn't. That's what that is. Like, how do you go into a season with one senior striker? That's when you're in 4 competitions, you go into a season with one senior striker. In Nkunku is never a striker. I said that. You've got Guy, who's 18, and you've got Jackson. You don't go into a season like that. That's neglect, right? And it doesn't matter what the restrictions are on the house that you're trying to build. You might be building a house on a hill. You might be building a house. It's the stadium. Our stadium, we got restrictions. But you can build a nice stadium with restrictions, or you can build a shit stadium with restrictions. So even with the restrictions, have you spent the money as best you can? If you've decided to spend 60 million on Neto when you could have got Elise, if you've decided to spend 20 million on Chukwuemeka when you could have, and Kellyman for 18, when you could put that money together and be 2/3 away from getting what's his name at PSG, the winger that just went from Napoli, who's
50 million.
And he still meets the requirements and the wages and the ages, and so you got to
he's
compare.
a difference maker on the pitch, as we saw against Liverpool, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So like we're comparing and contrasting how you spent the money, and could you have spent it much better? Yes, you could have, probably. If I give you 1.5 billion to start all over again, you probably do it a lot better, right? Do you know what I mean? You probably
Even that number is mad, like 1.5
whatever
billion.
it was, 4-3, it doesn't really matter, but you probably make sure that you got a goalkeeper that isn't costing you points. No, be a net negative. You know, there's a goalkeeper that can win you points, goalkeeper that doesn't really make a difference, and a goalkeeper that loses you points. That's crazy to have a goalkeeper losing you points. So I just think that there's enough errors in there.
It's crazy that our backup keeper is better than your starting keeper. I think that's mad, bro. Like,
yeah.
I think that's actually mad. Like, you can't have that world right there. Anyway, before we lock off the stream, the big six named Scholes is the best Premier League midfielder. Is okay. With all due respect to the big six, what are they? France football? Or are they like you get me? Was that the Ballon d'Or?
I don't even remember us doing that. Did we do that? I obviously didn't agree with that, but Saeed definitely did. So I don't know who got the votes.
Turkish probably agreed just because Henri said it. Henri's waffling anyway. He's a shit man.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't remember.
So, yeah. Listen, I think very fair ranking. Gerrard, Lampard, Vieira, Kevin De Bruyne, Cesc Fabregas. And if you don't want to put Fabregas above, you can put Roy Keane fifth. If you want to have United representation, no problem. He's so shit, bro. I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna have a Paul Scholes investigation, 3 hours on the stream, bro. Yes, you boys, you good? Big up Matisse, Arsenal fan here. Did an Arsenal fan just big up Matisse Armani? Do you know who?
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, Arsenal fans, I see them in person all the time. They're always showing me love. It's crazy. The relationship that we have makes no sense. I literally pray on their downfall every day.
And they're
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they're bigging me up. I think they understand. They understand where it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm honest. You know what I do? I don't lie. I don't say like, oh, I like my rivals. I like my enemies. No, they know I don't like them, and I think they appreciate the fact that I don't pretend. You know, I just say, I really wish you the worst. And they do the same for me. It's good.
Keep Henri out your mouth. Nafisa, don't make me make an Henri investigation as well. Because there were 4 FA Cup finals where he scored 0 goals in those finals too. You don't know what's funny? This is the funniest thing, and we'll wrap up on this. People came to me after the final against Newcastle, and they were like, never ever compare Salah to Thierry Henry. I'm like, you do realize that the guy has 0 goals in all the finals he's played. Like, this is the one thing that you actually genuinely can't bring to me. There's a young Michael Owen in the year 2001. We beat them in the FA Cup final 2-1. He didn't even score against the shit Liverpool. Like, he gave me, like, I'm just telling you, listen, don't revise careers. Do not revise careers. That's the one thing I just cannot stand, man.
It is funny to think that people think that Henri never had a stinker. Like, every time someone has a stinker, it's like, see, Henri had some stinkers. Everybody's had some stinkers. Maybe, yeah, everyone. Maybe I don't know any of Messi's stinkers, but you know.
One day we're gonna do a watch along for this game together, right here. I promise you. Do a watch along right here. Giuliano Belletti has more open play final goals than him. You speak facts, bro, about FCFC. Before you go, boys, LFC 2020 or CFC 2004?
Oh.
Chelsea 2004. The one that you're talking about, the one, I think you mean 05 Chelsea, not
05. I think he means, yeah. I mean, our defense was...
Jimmy, quickly, just tell us if you mean 05, because if it's the 15 goals conceded,
yeah,
Chelsea,
we're talking our defense being immaculate and your attack being insane as well. It's like,
I think if you were to make a combined 11, you'd probably get maybe 4 Liverpool players in there.
I have to do it one day. But if you were to combine, our defense with your attack, yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, but it would be fair to go like
I would say, our midfield is we're gonna have more players.
Salah gets into that
midfield.
Team.
Yeah, midfield.
Van Dijk gets into that team next to Terry. With all due respect, Trent is better than Paulo Ferreira. With all due respect,
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Stop lying.
But then defensively, we're not as good at defending with Trent than Paulo Ferreira.
Then you'd put Mane left wing, and then you'd be good.
We wouldn't have that defensive record with Trent at right back. I'll tell you that though.
You would not, but you would definitely score a lot more goals, and you'd have a bigger chance of winning the UCL.
Fair.
Maybe Luis Garcia doesn't beat you. And Matisse, stop being logical. You don't know who signed the shirt? Luis Garcia, by the way.
Yeah,
so
really, yeah. Bloody hell. That's sick.
Can Matisse stop being logical and be a Chelsea fan? No, Matisse has always been logical. He has never ever stopped being logical. You get me? He's never ever stopped being logical.
I've had my moments, you know. Everybody gets emotional. Everybody has their moments, but I try to make sure that unless I'm intoxicated, I'm good.
Very well. By the way, gender, I wanted the sporting directors out as well. Here you go, Godswell. Everyone's gonna do this whole I wanted the directors out. You guys are so full of shit. I remember all the potch out conversations last year. Don't lie to me. I know the ones that wanted the directors out. Abdi Has, Matisse, and you get me, and all the proper Chelsea slot. That's it. Anyway, make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel on your way out. We're actually just 20 subscribers away from 49,000 subscribers. It's close. It's a big 50K.
Start thinking about 50K.
Yes, it's close. Within the month, inshallah. Anything you want to say before we end the stream, brother?
Yeah, this was good, man. This was fun. Always good to be back seeing my brother. I knew it was going to be chaos. It always is. I've had a very relaxed like 2 weeks because there's nothing going on. So I just almost needed this to spark me and get me ready for the wrap up of the season. So I'm ready to go now. I feel like I just came out of a fight.
There you are. There you are. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. And listen, Matisse gave us 2 hours of his time. I promise you, he doesn't give anyone 2 hours other than the big 6. So
facts. That is facts. Literally, that doesn't happen.
So this shows how much love he has for us and for the community and for the people. I appreciate everyone locked in. Big up if you're watching this right now on the replay. Do like the video. Do subscribe on your way out. I love every single one of you guys. And tomorrow I'm back for Bournemouth, Man City, and we're doing Husam X Tom Little at 10 p.m. UK time, inshallah. So we're ending off March in style. Love you all. And this stream is going to take over to K-Mac. Let's go redirect to him. Yalla. Peace out.